We're back, though, with an incredible guest, the one that I've really become awesome friends with, Elizabeth Pipko.
Am I the first repeat guest? That's much cooler than the RNC thing.
Spokesperson for the RNC, Elizabeth Pipko.
Person I watch on television all the time, Elizabeth Pipko. You do a great job defending all of the things that are going on.
A Jewish model and activist.
Elizabeth Pipko, someone who's worked on Trump campaigns for a number of years.
If you don't know me, it means you're not watching Miss Laibel, by the way, so that's a problem.
I think our country is extremely divided right now. It's extremely polarized, and they're turning again to anti-Semitism.
Honest, everybody knows everything they need to know about Donald Trump and where he stands on every single issue.
I hate the Democrats for a lot of reasons. Now I hate them more because I swore to myself I'd never use this term, but this is gaslighting.
Do you think the 2020 election was stolen?
Oh, here we fucking go. You guys are gonna get me in so much trouble.
This is a man who stood up after being shot at. It's a man who stood up and raised his fist while his face was bleeding and let the world know that he was okay. I heard you in the last segment say that you think Donald Trump will be the next president of the United States. I've thought that for quite some time now.
I'm not saying Donald Trump's the nicest person of all time. I'm saying he's gonna keep you safe. It's that basic. He's gonna stand up to those that want you dead.
American people don't feel safe. It's very difficult for all of us. We have to worry about, getting food on the table at the same time that we're worried about World War III. We need to tone it down, admit our wrongs, admit our mistakes, admit that this country must come first, put the negativity behind us.
What's driving you for this?
My purpose is to save this country.
All right, everybody, welcome to another episode of Mislabeled. Feels a little weird to actually do this. I've taken a break for, now it's been probably 2-3 weeks. For those who have been following steadily, you know that my life has been in total chaos for a couple of reasons. Number one, I moved. The studio used to be in my house, so now I had to move. So the studio's not in my house. I don't have one. And it has to get rebuilt, so it's going to be rebuilt shortly. But I don't have a studio. I don't have a house. I've been in an Airbnb and living out of a suitcase. And I just had to move out of my Airbnb, and I'm busy building another house. There's a lot of chaos happening, so I have just decided, with looking for a co-host and everything, I'm going to pause for a couple of weeks and come back at full strength. But here we are. This is the coming back at full strength, so let's fucking go. All right, if you're watching this, if you could please like, subscribe, and comment, greatly appreciate it. All right, so we're back, though, with an incredible guest, a fucking awesome guest, someone that I've really become awesome friends with, Elizabeth Pipko, the spokeswoman of the RNC. First of all,
Thanks
huge.
for that. Thanks.
That's.
Am I the first repeat guest? Because that's
you
way
are
cooler.
the first repeat guest. Was there anyone else? There was one other person.
We're just gonna say.
There's one other person. There's Poznansky, whatever. He's a friend of mine. But
Doesn't
yes, you're the
count.
first
Doesn't
repeat
count.
guest
Okay.
that was actually originally a
That's
guest.
much cooler than the RNC thing. So that's what I am.
You think? I don't think that's much cool. I mean, maybe one day it'll be cooler, but I
just
don't.
in the five downs.
Yeah, exactly.
He's dealing with a lot.
100%, that's for sure. I also, by the way, guys, so obviously, I've been having different co-hosts where, like, while we look for someone permanent, which is its own thing I'm not going to get into, you know a little bit about this because I have screamed through the phone at how irritated I am. By the way, offering $100,000. I keep on saying that, like, for a co-host.
I told Darren this morning I might quit my job and move here and do this because that's crazy.
Yeah, no, I'm offering real cash. And the problem is in the religious community, which is what I'd like to go is to be somewhat religious, $100,000 unfortunately is chump change. Or at least people expect to be making, like if you offer 400, people start listening a little bit. But like 100, they're like, my car doesn't get paid with that. So maybe that's not enticing enough. But I'm here actually with Shulam Wasserloff, good friend. And I brought Shulam, Elizabeth, because Shulam is a big politics guy. Every single time we hang out.
Not a big politics guy.
No, but I'm saying whenever we're together, he's very up to date. He knows what's going on. So I just was excited. I thought he'd be the perfect fit for this. Anyways, for the people that don't know you, okay, and if you did not watch the first episode, which was more in the infancy of this podcast, could you just give people a little bit of a background as to, first of all, where, just your basic background, where you grew up, and how you got started in the Trump campaign?
Yeah, if you don't know me, it means you're not watching Miss Laibel, by the way, so that's a problem. That's number one.
Thank you.
Yeah, I grew up in New York City, daughter of Jewish immigrants from Soviet Union. Went to a Jewish school. The rabbi that actually brought my family to America has a synagogue/school. That's basically where I was raised, where my parents got married. It means the world to me. It's in Midtown, and although I'm in Florida, I still consider that my shul, so I go home whenever I can. I was a figure skater and model and a million other things, and then somehow ended up volunteering for Donald Trump in 2016. I did not like simply volunteering. I wanted more, so I wrote a letter to the data director on the campaign who hired me in about 48 hours. I met my husband on that campaign. We obviously won the election with that campaign. I was in and out of politics the last 8 years, but very close to the family, the Trump family, the campaign, some other advocacy work that I was doing, and now I am somehow the spokeswoman of the GOP. So here we are.
First of all, that's a wild. I mean, there's a lot there. So
lot
hold
there.
on a second. What did that letter say?
I can read it to you off camera, but it basically said, you're going to lose. This is what's wrong with your volunteer operation. I feel bad about it because they're now some of my closest friends. They were at my wedding, but two of the people that ran the volunteer center, I kind of attacked them in the letter, and I was like, they do nothing all day. One of them plays video games. One of them doesn't know how to talk to people. The volunteers are complaining about A, B, C, and D. I want to win. Let me help you.
Got it. So so give me a little bit. I love it, by the way. It's just this is so my alley.
It's very Laibel, yeah.
It is, right? It's so my alley.
That's why we get along.
100%, by the way. Just balls to the wall. Like, just take action. So hold on. So could you just take me? You said like this is obviously before Trump got elected. This is
Right.
early. What is it like behind the scenes? You know, meaning everyone has a vision, and there are labels given out, no pun intended. And it seems like there's just like fancy names given out. So
Yes, that's true.
Yeah. So what's the behind the scenes in like what's actually occurring? Is it as glamorous and as sexy and as difficult as it seems, or is it like these are regular people and like it's not as built up as the media, let's say, will want to make it?
It's definitely more difficult than it seems.
Okay.
2016 was surprisingly glamorous. I don't think people understand. Like, I had to have it explained to me because I never worked in politics before Donald Trump. Obviously, I was 21 years old. But if you worked in politics before this, you were making barely any money, living in a really horrible situation because it was always temporary. You had no money, and the goal was winning, and that was going to make it all worth it. Right? That's why if you look at the Barack Obama campaign, people barely made any money. It was about believing in the candidate and possibly one day going to the White House. That's what politics was before this. And then Donald Trump ran, and I am 21 years old, and I walk in day one, and I'm in Trump Tower on Fifth Avenue. I get out of the elevator, and Rudy Giuliani is standing there. Walk into an office. Everything's covered in gold. It's Trump Tower. It's Trump Tower. Everyone, like, you walk out of the office, there's obviously protests and things, but there's tourists lined up to like get photos because it's Trump Tower. Everything's beautiful. Everything's catered. Like, it's Trump Tower. So like people were trying to explain to me how exciting it is and how this is like not what it's normally like. A, writing a letter and ending up on a presidential campaign with no college degree and no experience, and then ending up GOP spokeswoman a few years later. And B, it's Trump Tower. Like,
Yeah.
he treats
insane.
people way better than anyone realizes and way better than any other candidates before him.
He
That's
does.
way better.
In what sense?
How much he pays, how much access he gives. I mean, he wants his staff to feel as though they are part of the Donald Trump before he was a candidate, because he doesn't want to be candidate Donald Trump. He wants to be the same Donald Trump he was before. And if you worked with him or you knew him before that, you were around celebrity Donald Trump.
Right.
So you can't just suddenly become a candidate polling at 2%. You have to remain Donald Trump.
Yeah, I
So
heard
he
that.
has always been Donald Trump, and everyone that's worked for him, majority of them, they don't realize
I mean, I
how
would
lucky
argue-
they are to be around.
Yeah, I would argue also that's exactly why he's been successful in meaning as a
Yeah.
candidate, because he's been himself and it's authentic and it's just
For
who he
sure.
is. I mean, there comes with good and bad with that.
Yeah, I
But
think a lot
overall-
of people maybe even take advantage of the situation because it is so thrilling and so exciting, and you can almost lose sight of wanting to win, because the whole point of wanting to win is scrapping and everything being absolutely horrible
Yeah.
and so difficult. And I know people that told me they used to sleep in the office on like the Mitt Romney campaign, have a toothbrush with them, go home to an apartment they shared with 8 people, like a 1-bedroom.
Oh my God.
Because that's what you do because you want to win.
And now you're able to enjoy it actually
Now
through the
you're-
process.
Now it's gone harder because the media's out to get you and things are really bad. But in 2016, I mean, you were on Fifth Avenue in Trump
Yeah.
Tower
I
with
know.
Donald Trump, and it was celebrities and politicians, and everything's gold. And you're on Fifth Avenue in New York. People dream of just visiting, let alone
Yeah.
working in that.
People just want to live
situation.
in the city, in the West Village. And like,
Yeah.
here you're like coming out of 5th and 57th.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Sounds very attractive. I might want to take a shot.
It was a good time. It was
Let me
a good
ask you this. Giuliani, just because you mentioned you walked out, do you think, I don't have a read on him anymore, and I'm trying to figure out, is that because he's actually a whack job, or is that because the media has just totally done such a good job on tainting him? Like, originally, before he got involved with Trump, he was like the god of New York. Like, he cleaned
Yeah.
up the crime.
Best mayor in the past 30
He
years.
was America's mayor, they called him.
So
Yeah.
did anything actually change? Did he go wacko at a certain point, or is it just a media hit job, like, and they tarnished his name?
I won't say anyone went wacko. I have so much respect for him, and he's been really, really good to me, so I can't say a bad thing about him. I'll just say a lot of people got caught up in post-2016 politics, thinking it was going to run like pre-2016 politics. Everything changed after Donald Trump ran, and people were targeted in ways they didn't expect. People were treated differently than they were before because he was no longer America's mayor. He was the guy helping Donald Trump, who majority of the mainstream media despises. And so I think people should have started operating differently, realizing that they were more hated, more under the microscope, everything else, and they didn't because he was used to being America's mayor for so long.
Got it. You're saying all like the RICO cases that he actually was the person who implemented it. Where was it again? Which state? Georgia? Were they Arizona? Which state was it? Where they brought against 20 people? I'm blanking on which place it was.
Yeah.
So you're saying like that would never have happened pre-Donald Trump?
That's what brought him to fame.
No, but I'm saying it was used against him just now in 2020 because like there were like the election
stuff.
Yeah, of course. I was actually going to ask you, looking back, do you think the 2020 election was stolen?
Oh, here we fucking go.
Let's fucking go. I want to know. I want to know your opinion. I've changed my opinion as time has went on.
Everyone talks about this, right?
Yeah.
It's all anyone wants to talk about. All anyone wants to ask me about. I think we're at a point when there's no point in discussing anything because A, no one listens. B, everything's used against you. Whatever you say, it's used to like get clickbait and say RNC spokeswoman says, or this one says, or this one. Like, that's all people are going to talk about. All I'm going to say is that in 2020, if you look at what happened on social media with the censorship of the Hunter Biden story, you can call it whatever you want to call it. That was not okay. Also, as was explained,
of course.
As was explained to me, we have a division, I believe, of our own State Department. Could be wrong, but it's in our country of people who are in charge of going to other elections around the world to making sure they are democratically held elections. We have people in charge of that. And we have rules that we look at to classify if their election was fair or not fair.
What do they say about Venezuela?
You can guess. But there are people in charge.
Who does that? Why do we have that even?
Because we're America and we support democracy around the world. I mean, I remember learning about this literally through like a Veep episode. I don't know if you've seen Veep. It's a great show. But they go to Georgia and this
with
is what...
Elaine. Right? Veep is with Elaine, right?
Who's Elaine?
From Seinfeld.
Yeah, I don't watch Seinfeld. But yes, Selena Meyer, the greatest president of all time. Yes. So there are
people...
people...
other countries do this?
Yeah. There are people in charge of this in America. Okay. And if you take their qualifications of what would be a fair election in America's eyes in another country, a lot of those have to do with media censorship, fairness across the board, election access, so many different things. And if you look at that list, most people would agree 2020 was not completely fair. And that's what matters. And I think people should look at it that way. Not about Trump or anything else, but look at it in that way.
Basically, what you're saying is even if they didn't actually steal the election on the night of, but they heavily influenced and they heavily did stuff to make it not fair.
Right. I'm not going to sit here and say anything about ballots on election night. That's not a conversation
like the laptop that didn't exist.
Exactly.
And 3 years later,
Russian
obviously
disinformation.
it
I will
exists
say that our own government would believe that what happened in our country around the world probably wasn't very fair. And we shouldn't have that here. That's as simple as I could put it.
Right. No, it happened. Yeah, it is actually crazy. So I think really where the disconnect happens is that Trump goes around and saying it's rigged, whatever, and the media they cannot handle when he says that. That was like the number one thing.
But I believe that he shouldn't. He should give up on that whole talking point.
But he's convinced.
I understand, but he has to move on from it.
Okay, that's your opinion.
Because it's just it is my opinion, but it also brings it down. It's like right now the talking point is, oh, they're so weird. Trump is weird. JD Vance is weird. Whatever that means, weird. Like we can't vote him because he's weird. Whatever. But him fighting back, like he shouldn't be fighting back like, oh, I'm normal. He should just be fighting back, sticking to the talking points. My policies are amazing. And they're not even amazing, by the way. They're just
common sense.
They're just common sense, normal stuff.
Yeah, he even says that himself.
Every Joe Schmo in America believes in, and that's it. Like,
so
he doesn't have to get stuck in the whole minutia of weird, normal, whatever.
So let me ask you this: do you think there's a benefit to him having his base believe that it was stolen? You're saying he shouldn't speak about it, and I'm saying his base of Americans he has convinced them.
Yeah, but the base believes it anyways. We believe it. He doesn't have to.
If he didn't hammer it home, you think they'd believe it?
His talking points now is not to convince his base, or to educate his base, or to re-educate his base. His talking points now is just reach the middle.
Right. No. At this point, I agree with you. I'm saying at this point, I agree with you. I'm just asking. Sorry,
I'm listening.
Yeah, I know.
I'm intrigued. I'm learning.
I'm curious about what you think. I mean, listen, you are in the campaign. We're just two random schmoes, literally just looking all day, and just watching. I'm just saying the last 3 years. That's really my question. I mean, the last 3 years, 2020 to 2020, 2020 to 2021, 2021 to 2022, 2022 to 2023, 2023 to 2024, 2023 to 2025, 2023 to 2026, 2027, 2028, 2029, 2030, 2031, 2032, 2033 to 2034, 2035, 2036 to 2037, 2038 to 2039, 2040 to 2041, 2042 to 2043, 2044 to 2045, 2046 to 2047, 2048 to 2049, 2050 to 2051, 2052 to 2053, 2054 to 2055, 2056 to 2057, 2058 to 2059, 2060 to 2061, 2062 to 2063, 2064 to 2065, 2066 to 2067, 2068 to 2069, 2070 to 2071, 2072 to 2073, 2074 to 2075, 2076 to 2077, 2078 to 2079, 2080 to 2081, 2082 to 2083, 2084 to 2085, 2086 to 2087, 2088 to 2089, 2090 to 2091, 2092 right now you're saying at this moment he has his base, they believe it. I was just saying in the first 3 years where he hammered it home, maybe it was worth it putting it if he really believed that. But I think what people misunderstand is that when he says it at the end of the day, he doesn't spell this out clearly. I think Trump's biggest mistake in the 2020 election, I always say this, by the way, with this podcast, and I say this every time because I just want to make it clear, and I don't know if you've heard this, even though you tell me you watch my podcasts, which I'm honored. But I always tell people who are suggesting things and telling me how I should do things that most of the time, it's I would say literally 97% of the time I've thought about it and I have information that they don't realize that makes their point invalid. So it's very possible this is the same case here. But I would just say that in 2020, he had this obsession with telling people to go to the polls while the Dems were busy saying and pushing mail-in ballots.
Yeah.
And it was COVID time, right? And he wasn't fighting them on their playing field. And he thought he was being American and doing the right thing by saying the issue
But it's not his fault that he didn't want to print fake ballots.
No, I agree, but
You guys are getting me in so much trouble.
it is. I agree with you. It's not his fault. But the point that I'm making is that at the end of the day, I think that very much screwed him. If he would have, but because more people would have voted, even if he did print fake ballots, he still would have gotten more votes.
I agree with you that I said that all along. If you know they're going to cheat, play their game.
But even if they're not cheating, they're gonna. If they're all pushing everyone to vote by mail, they're still gonna get more votes, even if they're not cheating. But But at the end of the day, the point I would just say is that I don't think it was you don't have to believe it was an outright steal like you were saying before. There were multiple different things that occurred within the previous 6 months before November 4th or whatever it was, where election day was, that significant. The Hunter Biden story, the mail-in voting. I mean, laws were changed to influence. So to me, that's a steal. I mean, you could call it whatever you want.
That's what I'm saying. It's not about what you call it. It's not about Donald Trump. Everyone hates Donald Trump or loves him, and they decide based on their feeling about him. They don't decide on the facts, let's be honest.
Yeah.
The point is, we have standards in our country for other countries. And if we just applied those standards, we would all be having a very different conversation. Let's say maybe many years down the line, when people forget Donald Trump was here and they're less scared of him because he's out of office, we can have that conversation.
Yeah.
But the fact is, things happen that shouldn't have happened in our country, and everyone on both sides of the aisle should be happy knowing that as much effort is being put in as possible to make sure Americans wake up November 6th happy with the election result. Not happy with who won, but happy feeling like their election was safe and secure because it's the United States of America and we shouldn't have those questions.
But these days we don't care about that.
That's the problem.
Everyone cares about just having their candidate win, and that's it.
That's the problem.
They don't actually care about, meaning liberals, they'll be very liberal and very progressive, but in reality, they're trying to push their own agenda onto everyone else, which is the opposite of liberalism.
Yes, I think both
liberalism
sides
is believing that everyone can be their own and
Yeah, of course. But the minute you're not them, they freak out. All right, everybody, just want to give a quick shout out to our sponsor for this episode, CubX. CubX is an IT company that personally does my own IT. I've recommended these guys to multiple of my friends. They have come back with nothing but rave reviews. These guys have fantastic customer service. There are no hold times. You call, you get through, they fix your problem immediately, and they are truly a group of talented IT professionals. They service specifically companies of 5 employees or more. They have a special division for companies with 500 employees or more, and a additional division specifically dedicated to the healthcare field, which is an area that they particularly specialize in. If you'd like to get through to them, you can reach them at 732-444-8771. Press 2 to get through to the sales department. You can also email them at hello@cubx.com. That's hello@cubx.com. You can also check them up online at cubx.com. Again, that's cubx.com. If you're a new company that's starting out and need a great IT team, definitely reach out to these guys. Or if you're an existing company that is currently not happy with your existing IT firm, I would highly recommend this group. Thank you so much, guys. Back to the episode. So what do you, first of all, I'm just curious, what is your relationship with the president like? I saw he just shouted you out yesterday. Big shout out.
That came out of nowhere. We don't have much of a relationship. I see him. I represent him proudly on TV. I'm glad to know he watches and is happy about what I'm saying and doing. I mean,
by the way, he only gives a shout out when he really likes what he has to say.
Right. I mean, it meant a lot.
Sure.
How often does he do?
Well, it was very nice what you said. You basically said that he changed politics.
I did say that.
Yeah.
That's where you watch. How did you guys find the interview from?
Because it's on Fox. What is
that? On Fox News. Trey Scarier.
I didn't see them post it. Yeah. Maybe they posted
No, they
it.
didn't. They didn't post it. But if you go on the app,
Oh, so you guys found it.
well,
to be-
I knew
You
what I'm
guys
doing.
put in the effort.
I knew
That's
what I'm
cool.
doing. So like,
I appreciate effort.
Yeah.
No matter, you know how lazy people are nowadays. I appreciate effort.
and so to be totally frank, I actually, by the way, I have it, and I was supposed to watch it. Like, no, I
See what I mean? See how lazy people are?
No, I'm not lazy. I called him
No,
up today
Laibel's
at
super
11,
busy.
at 11:30. I called him up and I said, "Please tell me all about this interview because I have this fucking door company that's busy sending me doors. Don't even get me started."
Yeah. Well, the answer was about 45 seconds, so you didn't really need much time.
No, so that's what he told me.
No,
So
Yeah,
but
it
it was a good answer.
Thank
Like
you. And I meant it. Like, the fact is, they asked about Kamala Harris if she should do more interviews. And I said
Yeah.
the point of why people like Donald Trump before he was the now Donald Trump, the reason I liked him in 2015, 2016 is because he would talk to anyone from
Right.
a reporter to a business person to a janitor, from the left to the right. He didn't care. He talked about anything with anyone. He answered any questions.
Yeah.
And he was the only person I'd seen, and I'd worked in media fashion like for some time. So between politics and that media world, the only person I've seen show up somewhere without pre-approved questions and answers. I'd never seen that before.
Right.
So now journalists and the American people expect something different because he changed the game. He didn't just change the game against Democrats, he changed it for Republicans too, who are going to struggle greatly after he's gone. He is a once-in-a-lifetime candidate. There's
Can
not
I
going to
please
be
leave-
Donald Trump's after.
Well, I mean, there's a whole thing about he put in JD Vance because he thought JD Vance was the most legacy-based thing, and he wants to make Trumpism a legacy. But
JD's a
first of all,
great
I just
guy.
want to clarify, by the way, and I mean this. I'm just saying this because it's honestly the truth. When he sent me the link, whatever, it was the day after, so I said, "How do I watch this?"
Oh, we're
I
still
just called
talking
him.
about this?
No, because I need to say this because this is the truth. I tried logging in. I don't have a TV fucking provider because I don't have
one
files
either.
anymore.
I don't have one
Because I
either.
don't have a place to live, so I don't have internet.
If it helps, I have a place to live and I don't have a
So I
login.
borrowed someone's YouTube TV login.
None of this matters.
It's not about that. No, this is the truth.
But also we're friends, so nothing I could say on TV you haven't heard, so it's fine.
No, obviously, but I do watch because when I had a TV provider like a normal motherfucking human, I watched it. Anyways, how did you get to the RNC spokeswoman position? Because I want to just clarify that's your current position. That happened how many months ago now?
End of May.
I hope
we
I
could
gave
probably
you-
check your phone because I probably sent you 80,000 messages before I took that job,
I
so
was
you
gonna
would know best.
I was gonna say I hope my advice is not backfiring. I don't think it is.
I'll yell at you on November 6th.
Well,
see.
the advice I gave you was you're gonna have to wait a little time more than that to see if my advice was accurate. But how did you get that position?
I don't even know. Like, everything in my life, I'm just like, oh, Hashem decided. And that's genuinely how I feel about this stuff because my political journey doesn't make any sense. Like, the amount of people that come to me for advice, and it's like, I can't help you because not a lot of people go into politics accidentally at 21, end up on a winning presidential campaign, and then end up on major news channels and end up the face of the political party. It doesn't happen to a lot of people. I work my butt off, as you know, and
Yes.
I'm crazy, and I go around things the way you do, and I try to do things outside of the box, and I'm proud of that. But I genuinely think everything is destined to be the way
Yeah.
it's supposed to be, and that's how I feel in this moment more than ever.
It's not a joke, by the way. She gives me we'll talk about things. I'll complain. She'll be like, honestly, it's for the best. Like, I'm not kidding. She's a bigger Bobby Taco, more
It's
trusted
weird.
person
It's
than I
just
am.
taken
By
over
a
now.
mile.
Are you like a Bashar kind of person?
This is what else.
Because we hate those people. No, I'm kidding.
I wasn't until my mom is. And I really wasn't that person until very recently. And then this week, I was having a lot of issues. Not with the job, let's just say, like, in my own brain. I messaged you a few times, just like, I don't know if I should be here. I don't know what I'm doing. And then my brother was like, everything's meant to be. You'll find out. And you wake up to Donald Trump being like, Elizabeth Pipko was great on Fox last
that
night.
was
And it's
great.
like,
Yeah.
what do you do with that? Like, clearly
Yeah,
Hashem's got
yeah.
just his finger on
After that, I
everything.
downloaded Truth Social for the first time.
Yeah.
I just believe he has a plan, and clearly I'm a part of it, and I'm lucky to be a part of it. But that's what this is. God is everything.
Yeah. Let me ask you.
Also, I might be the first Jewish female spokesperson the Republican Party's ever seen.
For sure.
We keep looking, but like we don't have.
What did you think
Like-
about? What did you think about the New York? How did you feel about the New York Post article about you, about when you became a spokeswoman?
I want to be nice because
Please.
someone I know wrote it, and she's a very nice person.
You know the person who wrote that thing?
That's the question I got from a few people.
Oh my God.
Okay. Here's what I'll say. When I was younger, I was very ugly, and I was bullied a lot. So for a lot of people, I understand why you would think it was
What are we
really
talking about? Like
flattering.
glasses?
We're talking buck teeth, unibrow, afro,
okay.
When was this,
4'6".
when you were 4 years old?
No,
And
to
you-
like 14, 15.
okay,
No,
fine.
like it was like I ate lunch in the bathroom for a year in my
Oy.
middle school. Like I'm talking bad.
That sucks. I'm
In the
sorry.
school that I basically grew up
painful.
in. I just said it, school's like my home. So I understand people because I know who I was then and I know how I feel now. I understand people thinking that it's the most flattering thing in the world to call someone the sexiest spokesperson. I get it. Very sweet.
You have to see this, brother Shulm. He would die. He would die.
It's just, I've worked really hard. Last year I was named like one of the 100 most influential Jews in the world. I have 2 Ivy League degrees.
I know, you're
the first
a maniac.
digital Holocaust museum using like crypto and decentralized technology. Fucking, like, I'm always doing something because I'm like, people need to respect me. I got to keep going. And it's like, no matter what, it's just going to be that same swimsuit garbage. By the way, in modeling, too, I was on the cover of Harper's Bazaar. Wearing clothes, by the way.
Yeah.
And it's like, let's just call her a swimsuit model. And just, I don't really know why, but...
Yeah, no, they did well with that. They were like, meet MAGA's new spokeswoman, and it was a flattering picture, I'll tell you that much.
But, like, sexiest spokesperson?
Yeah, no, the New York Post page 6 came after you, no question.
It could have been a lot worse. It could have been negative.
They could have called me ugly.
So they're just
Like, you don't
being
call ugly.
positive about a part.
They don't want fake, they only want to call fake news where they could actually call fake news.
It's just like, you could have at least been like, she's multifaceted.
Yes.
Not ugly to look at, but also has read a book.
Sorry, Sean, what were you saying?
I hear that. No, I'm saying it could have been worse. It could have been like actually negative. It was positive, but it's just a part of you that you don't want to
It's not that I don't, it's just I don't
push
understand
out there
why.
as much.
If the liberals, like the Democrats, got any model to endorse them or work for them or anything else,
Yeah, of course.
their own people would not write about them the same way. So I'm fine being attacked by the left in that way. It's just weird that your own people are like, this is the best part of you, you're hot. And it's like, but it's not. Like,
Yeah. I
there's just
hear
a lot that could be said. It was very nice. It's very funny.
In the whole article, she never called you smart.
No, I mean, they said I went to 2 Ivy League schools. But like,
Yeah.
you know, I've done some. I've published a book that like debuted at #1. Like I've done things, and it was just like
And they chose none of those things for
it
the
was.
most part.
Yeah, it was like, look,
Those were
boobs.
footnotes.
Yeah, like
Yeah, it was a lot about boobs and things.
which
Not
oh yeah, it was
about-
like her. She brought her ample assets to the RNC, and it's like, okay, thanks guys.
Yeah, it was a real doozy, that article. I was reading that, like I was like, oh god. And by the way, the second I knew that it was coming out, I searched and I found it, and I'm reading this. I'm like, oh god, I'm about to hear about this.
You're like, she's loving this.
Within a minute, you sent it to me the link, and you wrote, oh god, like
It was
funny.
fine. People
Huh?
have said much worse about
Yeah.
me. It's just like when your own people are writing, you want them to defend you the way the left defends their people. That's
Yeah.
all. And it would have been nice to
Yeah,
be
you're
like,
looking at it as a straight up discredit.
yeah,
Like you're just saying basically when you're amplifying that part of me, you're discrediting my whole
Right,
brain
and I also think
my whole
actual resume.
I
work
think
ethics
it
and everything,
helps
yeah.
the GOP to have a spokeswoman who is young and female and Jewish
Yes.
and accomplished and 2 Ivy League schools and daughter of immigrants and all these things that I'm proud make up me. And they were just like, hot girl. That's
Yeah.
all. I think it helps the GOP. It helps the country. It helps me.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
they
That's
forgot
where they
about
went.
that. Yeah.
Let me ask you this: Have you lost any opportunities since becoming the spokeswoman of the RNC?
A few here and
You
there.
have?
Yeah, nothing I didn't expect. But I have some plans to kind of, like, I remember texting you being like, if
Yes.
I take this, all this is out the window. I
Yes.
don't think so anymore.
Okay. Well,
That's
what
what
did
I know.
Yeah.
But you all said it would take longer. I'm
Okay.
going to do it before the election. I
okay,
have a
you-
plan.
you-
I'm going full Laibel on this, like
I love
outside
it.
the box
Go.
thinking.
Go.
I think it's going to be good. Yeah.
Oh, first of all, I underpromise and overdeliver. Like that's the rule.
That's
so
the
like,
plan,
you
yeah.
no, meaning in life in general.
I
like,
agree. I'm the same.
You have to set realistic. I think my biggest problem in life in general is that I tell myself something's going to take a while, and then I'm going, like, let's just say I say something's going to take 6 months, and then I'll be 3 weeks in and it's not happening, and I almost forget that I told myself this is going to take 6 months, and I'm getting pissed things are not working.
That
I'm
is
like,
me. Yeah.
I'm week 3. Like, when I give myself another 5 months and a week, and by the way, normally when I remind myself about that, and then and I keep going and I settle and I calm down, normally by month 3, I'm actually where I want to be by month 6. So I've given
good.
myself ample assets of time in order to get to where I want to be. Yeah, and so
good.
you're saying it hasn't been too difficult from that perspective.
Again, full credit goes to Donald Trump. The party is different. If it was any other candidate, A, I wouldn't have taken the job because I don't support just blindly anyone. And B, I would not be allowed to do this my way because Donald Trump changed the game. He's funny, he's cool, he's interesting, he's mainstream, or he was before this. There's interviews that I've done and things that I'm working on that I don't think a former GOP spokeswoman could be
Right.
doing. So I'm very lucky.
What is your purpose in this?
My purpose
What's
is to
driving you for this?
my purpose is to save this country and to make sure October 7th never happens again. That's my purpose.
Okay, right. So those are distinctly, but the second piece is an important. Like you added that on. Obviously, the first piece is a given.
I don't know if I would have taken this job if October 7th didn't happen.
Really?
Yeah.
Why is that?
I mean, we're all very, very impacted by that day. I still get nightmares by the footage. I saw that. I mean, we all, I'm sure.
Yeah. We were there.
I know.
Not down
no,
south,
of
but
course,
we were
but
in
I remember.
Jerusalem.
I texted you to be on Fox News, and you missed the opportunity too.
Well, I will never
Yeah.
fucking. Did I tell you this?
I don't think so.
Yeah, they
Yes,
needed,
I did.
They wanted someone on the ground in
yeah.
Israel, and I was like, I know who, and he didn't answer for like 8 hours.
I
and it
was,
like-
bro. Honestly,
and he doesn't
messaged-
sleep ever, so I thought it'd be fine.
I mean, yeah, it happens to be that this one time my phone was dead. I was in fucking Israel, and it was like 4:00 in the morning. I think we were like in the shuk or something. My phone died. I come back, and it's like an hour and a half later. It's like 5:30 in the morning. I like plug my phone in. She's like, "Are you available in the next like half hour? You got to go on Fox." I'm like, "Get the fuck out of here!" I missed this. I was so pissed.
Hashem's got a plan.
Exactly.
It's fine.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
wasn't meant to be.
Yeah,
They found Trey Inkst instead.
yeah, exactly. Or someone else.
It's hard. The day was horrible. Obviously, the whole thing is horrible. A, as a Jew. B, also as an American, if you understand the relationship between the two countries,
Yeah.
the fact that our enemies are the same. Their
Yes.
goal against Israel is their same goal against us. They just,
Yeah, of
let's kill the
course.
Jews first. It's the same thing.
Yeah, well, Jews are
So-
closer to them.
Right, but I mean,
Yeah.
I think they hate the Jews a little more than the Americans,
Yeah,
but they
that's
blame
it.
the Americans for keeping the Jews propped up. I'm sure there's a lot that Hamas thinks that we don't know, but
Yeah.
that's basically the vibe I get. October 7th made me want to have children. It made me want to do more. It made me realize that I am not here for myself. I'm here for everyone that came before me and hopefully everyone that will come after me. There was a lot of content going viral and a lot of people are posting and this and that. It was very emotional. There's one picture, and I'm probably going to cry thinking about it. But there's one picture. It's a little cartoon, and it's a boy. Do you see? Do you see what's happening? It's a boy in, I guess, Auschwitz. I don't know. In the, like,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
see
yeah.
he's wearing pajamas.
Yeah, I remember this picture.
His hands like on the, like going through like the bars, and
Yeah.
there's a little boy in Israel. Is Israeli flag and like a keep on his head, and he's holding his hand. And he's like, "Do this for me." And the guy just like broke down. I
Yeah.
saved it as my background. I'm like, that's what we're doing. Like,
Yeah.
that's what we're here for.
So it was
you know?
your Holocaust moment, basically.
I don't think it's so dark.
But I also-
No,
Went up
meaning
to-
no. It was hold on.
Yeah.
Our parents, grandparents, they were all motivated by.
Of course.
We live in America. We want America to be the best, but also we had a Holocaust, and therefore we want to have as many kids as possible.
Yeah.
Everything
Yeah, everything
everything
was
that motivated
predicated
them.
off that, yeah.
We want our kids to go to college and be doctors, lawyers,
we
and be
want
the
them to
best
marry
they could
Jews,
be.
we want them to
Want them to
multiply-
marry
yeah,
Jews.
of
Want them to
course.
multiply. Oh, everything is Holocaust based.
Right, which I
Our fear of dogs. First of all, natural fear of dogs.
think so?
Holocaust based.
really
All Holocaust based.
I've never heard that.
That's what he,
Yeah, because according to the Torah, the dogs were actually great to us in Egypt, right? But then all of a sudden now, not now, but now we're actually in a generation where we're like getting back to it, where it's like it's normal for Jewish families to have a little puppy, whatever. But like 30 years ago, it wasn't like that. Dogs were
I gotta
very
tell my
taboo,
mom
like
about this.
in the frum world.
Right.
Yeah.
And
become much more
why
accepted.
Holocaust? Because the Nazis
Yeah,
used
I
German
always knew
shepherds,
there
whatever.
was no dogs in any of the families that I knew like that
Yeah.
lived here.
yeah,
No, by
I
the way,
didn't know why.
when I was growing up as a
Holocaust.
kid, the idea
All Holocaust.
Interesting.
Yeah.
if a family had a dog when I was growing up as a kid, they were weird. They were just like they're probably not Jewish or
Who
something's
are-
wrong with the
Who are
something's
these
wrong
weird
with them.
reformed?
Literally, yeah. By the way, actually,
Yeah.
like, why is that kid walking a dog? What the fuck is wrong with him?
I never heard the dog thing, but it makes sense. But I feel like my grandpa, my parent, they did a really good job of making me already have my moment. It's all I thought about.
Yeah.
But then when you see it and you feel, I also run a
You
Holocaust
also have less,
museum.
yeah.
I was
Where?
going through imagery. It's a digital Holocaust museum's whole story.
Oh,
but I
okay,
mean,
yeah.
Well,
not-
less people forget.
Thank you. Yes, I don't do it as much now because I'm busy, but it's live and people go on and everything. I was scrolling through Holocaust content for a year at that point. So I already was looking at these images and crying myself to sleep anyway. So I'm already thinking about it all the time. But for some reason, that day, I think it's when we realized that maybe we weren't invincible.
Yeah.
Because I
Yeah.
always thought we were invincible. I mean, Holocaust is the worst thing that's ever happened to our people, of course. But the more you think about it, you're like, look where we. I mean, people think that
It's 80 years later,
People think we control the
but
weather.
It's not,
It's not that much different.
It's
People
not,
think we control the weather and the media, whatever, because we're that successful after every single person tried to break us down, throw us out, murder us, and we're here. I mean, we
Yeah.
succeed in
Yeah.
absolutely everything. We're happy
really
we have
crazy.
family. That's
So
who we
not just
are.
that, Israel itself, I always think about this, we're 75 years in, or 78, whatever Israel is at this point. I don't even know the exact numbers, and I'm too lazy to do the math. But America's how many
76,
years?
70.
Someone
270, whatever?
wants to do the math. Huh?
I'm just saying, the point is
76.
America's 270 something, Israel's 75 plus. what Israel has done in 75 years is fucking insane. It's
Even
not
Israel,
a normal.
Even Israel coming to be.
But forget about that. I'm just saying, fine, they came to be. Now,
but
where
even
Israel is from a technological standpoint, from
Everything, sure. A little over 100 years ago, Tel Aviv was sand dunes.
And
That's it. It was
I
desert.
think maybe that's what it was. Like, you think about it and you're like, I'm going to raise Jewish children, but it's like, we got it. Like, we're invincible. And then you realize that morning, you're like, no, we're not. And they don't just want us gone. They really want us murdered in the most disgusting of ways possible. They want it blasted across TVs everywhere.
And this has nothing to do with the state.
Yeah, and people
Nothing
will
to do.
still say it didn't happen and still not defend us.
A week later.
The
10
next
days
day,
later.
the next
10 days,
day,
10 days
yeah.
later,
The next
Kamala
day.
Harris was calling for a ceasefire.
No, I know people now that tell me it didn't happen.
Let me ask you
Yeah,
this.
we're being gaslit on the highest level.
Yeah, next level. But we'll get to that in a second. But regarding Kamala, no, honestly, I mean, there's so much to talk about here, and I want to get right into this. Regarding Kamala, do you believe for 1 second that the polls are accurate, that Kamala is within range of Trump, equal to Trump, or some even leading? Do you actually believe that as real news, as accurate information?
Yeah, I polling is weird, but A, it's never been crazy off except for the 2016 election. Maybe the midterms actually last year were a little off. B, you do statistically get a good bump after you pick up AP. She has a bump because she wasn't the candidate a few weeks ago. Now she's a candidate. That switched things up. She is going into her convention now. You're going to get a bump from that. And people really don't like Donald Trump.
I don't believe. Yeah, I'll just.
Her V pick is a terrible pick.
Horrible.
It's horrible. Like she couldn't have done worse.
Yeah.
If she tried.
You know why? Because she wants to push progressive policy, so she couldn't pick someone
but the
more.
American
No, but she's
people
not
don't
somebody that
believe in
actually-
progressive politics.
But okay, hold on. And
Yeah.
that's my fucking point.
But she's not a real believer.
Hold on. I do not believe the polls. I
could
think
be.
there's a famous line. I forgot who said it. Oh, I think it was Limbo who said, polls at this point are meant to shape your opinion, not actually what our
That's
public
true.
opinion. I do not believe for 1 second in Kamala Harris in 2020. Okay, I think it's the media setup for the steal. This is what I personally think. Oh, no, 100%. Because if they keep running
I heard
polls,
this
Yeah,
on
of
the show
course.
yesterday. It's all
Then
I
when
need.
she
I don't
wins,
know,
it's like,
it's my-
oh, well, listen.
The polls
she was
showed it.
close. Like, so, okay, so big deal. So
So
she
hold on
won.
a second. This is my personal belief. I'm going to ramble for 1 second, if that's okay. Kamala Harris in 2020 got 3% in the primaries, was the last person in the primaries.
Dropped out before her home state.
Yes. Last person.
Doesn't happen.
She's the VP now. She was picked because Biden wanted to push some DEI thing.
Biden needed a female.
Whatever,
That's it.
exactly. And black, it's the best thing that he could have thought of. Fine. So
Well,
you
we
got a
don't
black
even,
female.
we're not even sure what she is.
Whatever.
I'm not saying any of this.
Right, this is
I'm
me.
just
This is funny. No, but I'm being serious. Since she's been in office, like, you know what it was like? It was like when Hillary was running for president.
Yeah.
Right? Trump had the famous line. Really, he had one talking point the whole time. It's like, you've been here for 40 fucking
And you did
years.
nothing, yeah.
What the fuck have you done? She's been in office for at least 3 years. I mean, really 3 years.
Nearly
And you could
4,
say the
yeah.
same thing. She's been around for 40 years. But 3 years, and every single important statistical measure that Americans care about is worse. Not only that, she lost Roe v. Wade. Not that she necessarily had control
Well-
or they had control, but it's not. It existed when Trump was in office. Even that they didn't keep. I mean, even that they couldn't manage. I'm
That
not.
one's a difficult one, but I get it.
My point is that under her, there's really, even with their
Nothing-
own base,
nothing
there's
is
Well,
nothing.
she did one very important thing.
Which was?
That she got like about 12 million illegal immigrants into this country.
She did that. She
But
killed
she
Joe
was the
Biden,
border
and she
czar,
did a
and
lot.
But I'm saying I don't even believe her people necessarily want that. But my point is that, like, I don't believe that the average American, I still have faith in humanity. I keep on saying this. I was writing it on Twitter. I don't believe for a second. You want to tell me that there's 20% of Americans are fucking crazy and they're these far left progressive wackos? No, truly, that they're like into transgenderism and these far left ideologies and they're okay with the economy, cost of living having gone up 30%. They're okay with really everything that should make no sense to a person with a brain that should be a good thing, right? You want to tell me that all those people, there's 20% of people that somehow missed the boat? Fine. I don't believe 50% of people, I don't believe it,
Yeah.
are like looking at like the facts. It doesn't make sense. I don't care. Like, she was, no one liked her as VP, no one liked her when she was running, and all of a sudden she becomes the candidate, and she's an actual weirdo. I mean, if there's anything to say, like, she is actually the weirdo. No, really, she sits there cackling like a retard. She has no kids.
Christ.
Like, no, real fact, she is. She's 60. She's just like comes there and says, being unburdened by what was, by unburdened by my husband. Like, whatever.
That was good. That
For
was it.
4 minutes straight, you could run a reel of her. I don't believe that 50% of Americans are seeing this shit and are like, yeah, no, this is the person I'm going for.
I think a part of it is what you just said before. you under promise, over deliver. So in my brain, I'm like, this is the polling. This is what you're up against. Because I don't want to tell myself that things are going to be great and that this is going to be easy. You should always believe that you're in a worse spot that you're in, so you actually fight harder and do the job correctly.
Okay, fair enough.
That's
a good
number
answer.
one. Number two, they're not up against Donald Trump. They're not up against the 4 years we had. They're not up against his policies. They are up against the caricature of Donald Trump, which to a lot of people is still worse than everything Kamala
Trump
stands for.
That's a great point.
That's the problem.
Great point. That's awesome. I still believe, no, really, I'm listening to that and that hit home. I still believe that over 50% of Americans, 60 plus for sure, are still looking at policy-based things and are like, this dude was in office, border crossing halted immediately.
Yeah.
Whatever, kept the country safe, no wars,
Not one new
money.
war. It's not an unheard of.
So that's my point.
Yeah, I'm with you.
So I'm saying that's why I don't believe
Safety,
the whole-
security, and economy was way better, and that's it.
The world was calmer at the end of the day, and I think that I have a hard time believing, truthfully, like I don't believe that there are half the world is that crazy that they hate his character that much.
Yeah.
And she's so likable. Her character has to also be so likable, which it's not.
Obscenely likable. Yeah.
That they're now voting and they switched their vote. Come on. By the way, did you not see polls the day after she was up like 10 points in one poll?
But before that, she had the lowest approval rating for a vice president that we probably ever had.
That's what I'm saying. I don't believe it.
I know.
It doesn't make any sense.
The biggest thing that they're trying to push, which is completely doesn't make sense, is that somebody that was gonna vote for Trump is now gonna switch their vote to vote for Harris.
They're like 8%
I
of
do
people
not
are like, never
believe
mind.
that for one
No,
second.
It doesn't make any sense. That's what I'm saying.
Nobody-
The actual polls, like, I'm being honest. I'm a smart motherfucking dude. Am I Elon Musk? No. But I'm qualified enough in my brain to be able to make a basic assessment of, like, this does not add up. It's not like she was also in office 8 years ago and people forgot. She's here right the fuck now. Like,
And people
no
are
one is
complaining
happy.
now. No, I know.
When they go for gas, no one is happy when they have to pay insurance. No one is happy when they go to the grocery store. No one is happy that America's, basically funding two different wars, and on one of them, both sides, they're funding Gaza, they're funding Israel. No, I don't think anyone's happy about that.
No one's happy.
At least not majority of people. So I don't understand.
It's tough. It's people are very, very, very divided, very angry, very emotional. It's been a very long 8 years. People, most of which, truly, they don't follow as much as you do. And I know you're going to say it's not. I'm telling you, people
They
don't
don't know.
follow. A lot of people don't follow. All they know is the headlines.
Yeah.
All they know is this is someone new. Yes, I was considering Trump because he would have been new, but this is also new. Maybe it was all Joe Biden. Maybe she's different. Tim Walz, the VP guy. This is a new ticket, something new. They're also sick of Donald Trump. People are really, not because it's him, because of what the media and their own family and their own friends do to them.
Yeah.
Donald Trump is a topic of conversation. People just want things to get better.
Right.
I would love to sit down with everyone in this country and explain to them that Donald Trump is not the scary man they think he is, and that things will get better.
Yeah.
But I don't have the time to do that. And when they watch the media who tells them Trump is Hitler,
Yeah.
Trump is this, Trump is that, Trump is gonna, someone told me the other day, Trump is gonna take away all women's rights. I don't even know what that means.
And he's not even ever said that. He literally
He's never said that.
Yeah.
I don't, but I don't even know what that means. What rights? Do you think he's gonna not let us vote? That's what you think's gonna happen? Like,
Even
nothing's
the
gonna
whole
happen.
abortion topic,
He sent it to the states.
gaslighting the U.S. All
Yeah.
the Supreme Court did was say this is not our decision. This is supposed to be based on the states. So what do is they're scaring you. The liberals are scaring you and telling you that, if you live in Alabama, they're going to outlaw it. They're going to outlaw everything
They're
about it.
also
And it's like, okay,
promising
can we
to
just-
codify Roe, Democrats, but they've been promising that this whole time, and they know it's impossible. But they're also claiming that if they lose, Donald Trump will put in a national abortion ban, which he has said in every interview the last few
He's
months
not
he's
doing.
never going
He has
to
no
do.
interest.
He
But
doesn't
they
give a
don't-
shit. He got
but-
probably 20 abortions about the bed. No, I'm
not
not
saying-
serious.
Like, he doesn't care. He's not.
All I'm saying is-
He's not even that religious, classic, conservative
He
guy.
believes in
He
God, I'm
doesn't-
sure, but
Oh,
he's.
Yes,
100%,
but
I
he's
think
not
he
like a
said it a few
super-
months ago before I took the job. I remember watching him, and he was like, "I'm not doing this because it's conservative. I'm doing it because it's common sense." That's what this is. He's not a diehard
He's not a
Republican.
diehard
I'm not
conservative.
a diehard Republican. I want the best for this country, and right now that party is the obvious choice. That's it. He
Right.
just wants
Yeah.
the obvious choice. He wants
Normalcy.
people to be happy, people to have money, no war, no terrorists being led into our
Yeah.
country. Basic things that we would have all agreed on in
But by the way,
2005.
this goes back to what I was just saying beforehand. And therefore, I do not believe that these polls are accurate. No, I don't. It's
hope you're
very
right.
common sense. I don't believe
It is
that
very- he's
these
not-
are the
yeah.
most. I mean, I was, by the way, I used to say all the time, even before he finally started to saying it publicly, by the way, this is just I'm a common sense
Yeah.
candidate.
He-
I used to say for a long
all he
time,
cares
Trump,
about.
not in a negative way, but I used to say he doesn't have one novel idea. Like, I think the only novel idea that I saw him actually do was with Israel, actually, and the Abraham Accords. I don't even know if it was his idea, but that was like to first get the Arab states to go the other way around versus that was a smart idea.
That was new.
That was a
definitely
new idea. And that was, and by the way, only a deal maker could make that happen.
Yeah.
No one else who thinks conventionally
And
would have
look
made
what
that
they
happen.
did to the Middle East in 3 years
They
since
fucked
then.
the whole thing. But
And you have Saudi Arabia that's intercepting Iranian cruise missiles headed to Israel and Jordan, and this is the unheard of things that would have never happened.
Yeah. No, 100%. At the end of the day, I wrote a tweet, by the way, regarding Tim Walz. I just started getting more active on Twitter. I don't know why it's taken me a while, but I think I'm getting there with Twitter, by the way. I'm about to become an animal on Twitter. No, I'm becoming an animal on Twitter. But Tim Walz, this guy's crazy. No, he really is crazy.
He's not crazy. He's
he's
just
not- he's
so
not
progressive
crazy.
and woke.
Yes, no, but let me...
That therefore he believes that it's good that Minneapolis burns to the ground in 4 days, letting the whole city of Minneapolis burn because these people are so frustrated and they're meaning he's such an idealist. But
That's
I understand.
being too kind.
But yeah, that's being too kind. But I wanted to say one thing.
but he's where he goes wrong is, wait a second, my business that I have that I worked hard to build, so you're gonna let that burn? Why? Because you believe in some weird ideology? Like, that's not nice.
I mean,
But
you're being way too nice.
No, but that's where
That was
progressive.
very
That's
nice.
where progressive and woke go wrong is that they think they're being nice, but really they're being evil.
Yeah, okay.
No, I think
When you're
that-
believing in one
I think that
ideology
can
and you're
define,
only
yes.
letting that ideology, like in the sense that these people are allowed to protest, which fine, let's say let's agree that they are allowed to protest. But like, wait a second, why does my business have to burn to the ground
Yeah,
for
of
that?
course. Yeah. You're saying...
I would say the average liberal, I totally agree with you. They truly think they're doing the right thing, and they don't realize that it's actually their emotions are guiding them in the direction that hurts more people. I think that happens a lot with people on the left or on the right. I disagree with people's policy, but I like as long as it comes from a good place, I'm fine. I don't think Tim Walz is coming from a good place. I think he wants to destroy this country.
Yeah, he wants to make a socialist country.
Yeah, I think people...
These people come when they
He's
want...
not stupid. He stands against what we believe in as
Kamala's
Americans.
quoting Karl Marx.
Right, that's
when we think
exactly.
she's bumbling
I'm not
her
just-
her
exactly.
comment, she's actually quoting Karl Marx.
She had a whole thing. I was literally
Yeah.
listening because I never listened to her because the little I've heard of her till now, I'm not kidding.
Well, they hit
she's
her for a long time.
I literally was like, I can't do this.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want to get unburdened too much. So I wanted
Don't
to
you hate that, being
get burdened
unburdened?
more, not unburdened.
I
So-
bought a hat that just says unburdened.
Really? That's awesome. Please send me the link. I'm buying that ASAP. I really want to buy that. No, but I just stopped listening. But I was listening to this whole thing where she's talking about we only right now have equal opportunity. We don't have equal outcome. I was like, America's not a place. That's not capitalism.
Right,
What
and
planet?
that's what people should be talking about.
It's crazy.
And that's what we all on paper agree on. There's plenty of people that truly are coming, like you said, from a good place. We just end up at different points of how to fix things. I don't believe someone like Kamala or Tim Walz is coming from a good place. I just don't. I think when they support people burning the American flag, I have a serious problem. That's not coming from a good place. I just don't see it.
I mean, it's crazy. There's a certain point we have to stand up. I think people burning the flag should go to jail. I honestly think it should be a prison sentence. Like, fine, there's freedom of speech, freedom of this,
in
freedom
most
of that.
of the world, it probably is.
You cannot look. I get there's freedom, but this is obviously a very complex topic. But to me, it's like you cannot burn the American flag. If you do, there has to be some sort of consequence.
So
Like
Donald
at least
Trump
we
just
publicly out you something. You cannot
Publicly out you.
Yeah, there should be literally some sort of thing.
Well,
where-
luckily they all post about it because they're so proud. So we get
no,
to
but
publicly
you
out
cannot
them
like
anyway.
I don't
There
know how
should
to
be like
explain it. There's a point where
a
like
flag burning list online.
something like I don't fucking know, but
And then they can't live next to schools, like flag burners.
you cannot burn the flag of your country. Like no. You can't, like, I don't know. Like, there has to be some sort of penalty, something.
It's a complicated subject
I
because
understand.
in Israel,
It's
I don't
very
think it's illegal.
complicated.
It's not illegal in
I
Israel?
don't think it in Israel, and
look
Israelis
that
know
up.
how to protest.
We should look that up. But Israel got a lot
Whatever
from
it is,
America,
whether
so
burning of
that's
the flag is
interesting.
illegal in Israel or not, but Israelis know how to protest.
Yeah, they
and they believe in strong democracy.
But in Israel, if everyone was watching before October 7th, the protests, which were crazy over judicial reform,
Yeah.
Yeah.
if you looked at both sides screaming at each other, because when Jews fight, it's really bad, both sides had Israeli flags.
Yeah.
In our country, both
Yeah.
sides don't hold American flags. That's the
Yeah,
problem.
yeah, yeah.
That's the issue. They hold foreign flags or they burn the American flag. That's my problem.
Yeah.
Both sides do not. In Israel, I was very proud watching. Both sides were holding Israeli flags.
Yeah.
We don't have that anymore.
That's crazy.
One side burns the flag. They don't want the flag. They don't love the flag.
Yeah.
It's very
Because
different.
in Israel, they both love the country.
Right, and that's what you should. If you don't have that, you can't even have we're in a different
No,
point.
they don't love the
America's
country.
got
They think
bigger
America's evil.
That's the problem. I'm
They're
not
evil
here,
for being
that's
democratic
the
and
number one
capitalist.
You can discuss policies all day. If one of you likes America and one of you doesn't, we're in a different point.
Yeah.
That's the problem. That's
It's
why
true.
I took this job. One side likes America. One side has a good chunk of their supporters who don't. That is my
Well,
problem.
they would say that we like America. We just like America with a misunderstood concept of what America
we want
actually
to
is.
fundamentally change everything America is.
Right, like
everything
we like
built
America,
on.
but we think America was built on socialism.
They won't put a flag on their house. So that's my problem.
Yeah.
If you won't put the American flag on your house, I have a problem.
Yeah, the fact that placing a flag
That means you're Republican? What is that? That's not
weird.
normal behavior.
Yeah, that is true.
That's my
a good
problem.
point.
And there's millions of policies that I want to debate all day long. But until we're on the same point of America good or bad, I can't even get there.
I hear that. Before I was going to get to, we got into something else. That with Walz, I literally
Yeah.
wrote a tweet. I thought it was funny. I'm like, Walz is better with the mic than Kamala by a mile. He's good.
He's very good on-
He
yeah.
speaks well. That's actually a scary thing for me.
He does
'Cause
speak well.
He speaks well. I'm like, they should move Kamala back to the VP and put Walz as the nominee. They already put Kamala in as the nominee totally, like, without a vote. Why can't
And
they
it's
just move him now?
Total political coup. Total. Yeah.
What is the campaign's position on this?
No, I think it's horrible. I mean, who thinks that you should be able to decide on the ticket based on if Joe Biden is ready to leave or not ready to leave? I mean, the thing is insane. And they knew. It's not like Joe Biden suddenly got old. Like, they've known for
Yeah,
how
of
long
course.
that he was a little
well,
off.
they ruined it for themselves.
Right, but there was.
They could have said a
did
year
it-
ago that,
No, they
yes,
did it on
he's getting it a
purpose
little-
because they knew that if they had done it earlier, they'd have to have a primary process, and Kamala Harris would not be
Yeah,
the pick.
correct.
More than likely, the American people would not have picked Kamala Harris. So they kept
she
him in
got
until
through, yeah.
they kept him in until it was too late to have an actual primary process. Till Dean Phillips had dropped out, till
Yeah.
RFK had gone
And
independent.
then they forced him out.
Then they forced him out and made Kamala the ticket. And I think the American people, either side of the aisle, should be like, "What the hell? That's not how this works."
Yeah.
That they clearly planned it. This is not, something they thought up and after that debate. No one thinks they actually looked at him at the debate and said, "Wait, I've never seen this before." That's just not true.
No.
It's impossible.
And it took them 45 minutes to come out and say, "Oh, he has the flu."
He has the flu, and next week he's gone. Like that's not how these parties work.
What is? Of course not. So I don't understand how people don't even like. It's so insane. There's a level of I don't know how to explain it. There's corruption on both sides, obviously, but there's a level of deceit
Yeah.
and corruption
Yeah.
on the left.
And I
that is-
hate the word gaslighting. It's just a gross word, but that's what it is. They
Oh,
just
there's
look at you and tell you the wrong thing, and just know that eventually you'll believe it because they keep screaming it
They'll
at
lie
you.
straight to your face
That's what the problem
without
is.
thinking
And I hate
twice.
that word, but it's so accurate.
Yeah.
That's what this is.
No, they'll just manipulate and
Yeah,
manipulate.
like trust me, this is what you wanted. Okay.
At this point, I actually feel bad for Biden.
Oh, I feel horrible for Biden.
Yeah.
And by the way, I don't support most of what he supports, but he was in office for how long? Like, he literally served in his own way for, I think, over 45 years.
Yeah.
He was thrown out, like, just
For
thrown
years.
aside.
Oh, they really
like
did.
At
that.
least since
They threw him
since
to
the 80s,
curb.
no?
Yeah. No, it's. I don't respect anyone that's been in politics for a long time. I'm just going to say that because you're probably a horrible person and it's impossible not to be. However, they threw him to the curb. Like, he gave his life to
Yeah.
American politics and they threw him out.
Do you feel that he backed Israel?
I think he backed Israel until he couldn't anymore, because that's how they operate here. They look at polling and choose their opinion based on the opinion
Right.
of polls.
It was
But
him.
until the last
He was
few
an
years,
extreme pollster guy.
Yeah, I
he
mean,
was an
that's-
extreme politician in the
that's what
sense that
politicians
he didn't
are.
really have any beliefs. It was just basically what
the
the polls
beliefs
were
are
telling
what
him.
the people tell you to believe. That's what politicians.
Well, the
that's why I
question is if
say
he
you
was the
can't
one-
be a
yeah.
good person if you're in it for that long, because you're not a
But
human
I
anymore.
don't
You're a
think-
robot that reads the polls and does what people tell you to do, so that you can keep winning elections.
I don't think he was ever too big of a fan of Israel. My personal opinion.
I don't know if that's true.
I don't know. I think
there's
the
a reason
Democrat Party at one point
There's
was
a reason why Begin and him got into a fight 40 years ago.
true.
40
And all
years
the-
ago.
and that, and that going
In the
viral.
80s.
It's all going viral
Yeah.
now, so people can.
Wow.
I don't think.
And Begin gave him the speech.
Oh, I remember
Begin's
that, the
powerful
trembling
speech,
knees.
yeah.
I'm not a G. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
you're not gonna. Also, he was a young dude, like threatening to cut off funding to Israel. He was
Yeah.
like, "Get out of here!" Like we're people with 3,000 years of heritage.
Yeah.
Like you're not gonna like.
We're invincible. I know. All I'm saying is, until the Democrat Party realized they needed the votes, they were very on board with supporting Israel, and that's the fact.
It's unreal, but it's so. I mean, things have changed so drastically. We have people in Congress that
wild,
are like,
wild
for example,
time.
Cory Bush lost. Thank the good Lord. I mean,
Yeah.
and Ilhan Omar is going again. She
drink for
won
that,
by 3
yeah.
points. Let's hope she loses as well. God willing.
Jamal
very shortly.
Bowman's also gone.
He's gone also, Bowman. Okay, whatever. Yeah.
So like a third of the squad is gone. No.
Oh my
out of
gosh,
6?
dude. Well,
2 out of 6 of the squad.
By the
is
way,
gone.
I think there's more than 6 now.
if Kamala, at the end of the day, right now, if she wins, and this is the crazy thing. Trump says, and he said it many times, if Kamala, that he does not understand, and he thinks Jews that vote Democratic should have their heads examined. I have no better way. I would have used much worse language. I would have said I'm not gonna whatever. Apparently,
Don't say.
I would have said much. He's 100% right.
Yeah, I agree with him, but I don't think you should say it. It happens to me.
Shouldn't say what.
It's too negative.
I
Don't say
disagree with you.
negative.
Stop
Say
it. You're trying to change.
no. I'm not trying to change anything. I'm saying just it's going in a very dangerous place.
What? That they need to get their heads examined? No,
Yes.
I think he's 100% right. Please continue
He's
saying
right.
that.
He's right. But
I'm Jewish.
therefore, in our circles, you'll be hard pressed to find somebody that's voting for Harris.
Oh, I know.
By the
Hard
way,
pressed.
I have a close friend of mine, and his close friend is the one close friend I have. This is the truth. Who is, for whatever reason, went to Ivy League school, the whole 9 yards, and he's a big time liberal, like a big Obama fan, whatever, and the whole 9 yards. And he hates Trump.
Of course.
And he came over here the other night, actually. He was in the office, and we sat there and we spoke to, we were here, happened to be until 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning. And we're busy talking, and he's like, myself and a lot of other people are voting for Trump this round. And he's like, I just hope Kamala, it was the night before Kamala made her pick. He's like, I hope Kamala does not pick Harris because I love Josh Harris and Shapiro. Sorry, not Harris. Josh Shapiro. And I was like,
So he wanted her to not pick him.
yeah, because he didn't want to have the difficulty at all of
he
like
loves
deciding.
him.
He loves Shapiro, and I was like, Jesus
Shapiro,
Christ.
who couldn't admit that he was Jewish.
Correct,
or
whatever.
Hispanic.
I'm not getting into that,
Yeah.
but he really
was right
wanted.
into
Who
that.
scrubbed his wiki page about his IDF
No, but to
service?
scream on stage, "I'm proud of my faith" without being able to say the word Jew
Yeah,
is next.
yeah.
I've never
It's-
seen that in my life.
He's
No, that's insane.
yeah.
Well, we're very much hated these days.
he can't.
I know, but
And it
that's
happened overnight.
insane.
Like,
But
Jews
you
used to be
said,
very well respected.
We all are like right after the Holocaust generation. Like he's older than me. I get it. There's a lot you want to give up and fight, but you don't. No, that I can't.
I agree with you. You can't. The minute you.
No, you can strip me of my
Listen,
whole life.
he doesn't
That's
realize
never gonna happen.
He's a
We're-
politician. Politicians are
You
not
gotta-
known to be.
That's
He also-
true, but
I think he forgot that when we went to
can't.
the gas chambers, he'd be going there as quickly as the person who says that they're Jewish.
Exactly.
So I don't think it makes much of it. Like people forget that when they're going for their ambitions.
that's what I'm saying. But after October 7th, like I just can't. I can't fathom.
Yeah,
that.
I mean, if Kamala is elected, and it's scary that I'm saying that those words are coming out of my mouth. That's how. And by the way, I would not say that if Biden was running, and that's the truth. If Biden was
Oh,
still
she's
running,
much scarier than Biden.
I'm just saying, if you're a Jewish person
Yeah.
and you're voting Democrat, you're voting for Harris, you're co-signing Jews dying in Israel. I really, really, really believe that.
And
like,
here,
course.
Huh?
and here, look at the anti-Semitism in the
Yeah,
streets.
but
They
let's
don't
not even
get-
go there when Israel's in a war fine. As far as arms, as far as pressure
For
on Israel, as far
sure.
as everything, she is going to be the most radical left, pro-Hamas,
Yeah.
pro-Palestinian person. It's not even pro-Palestinian.
But what
because-
happens when you're pro-Hamas or pro-Iran or whatever? They don't stop in Israel. They come here next.
yeah, of course,
And
absolutely.
not a lot of Jews think about that.
I just saw a report: 99 terrorists, like verified terrorists, were let into the U.S.
yeah,
You saw
people
that?
on the terrorist watch list, they're let into the U.S. Yeah. But
is-
Donald Trump's the problem.
That is actually insane.
Yeah.
That is
The fact that we're
insane.
talking about abortion
Donald Trump
instead
is
of
a
that.
racist because he wanted to build a wall.
Right.
So it makes him a racist
Exactly.
somehow. But yeah,
That's crazy. No, that's crazy. There are 99
But we're
terrorists,
not
bro,
even
hanging
talking,
around.
Yeah, but-
and we're not even talking about it. That should be
Yeah.
on every TV. We're talking about abortion where there's 99 like that's the problem. The privilege of talking about these issues is out the window because we are facing actual threats internally that we have let into the country.
I remain with what I said before. It all goes back to this. It doesn't make any sense. So that's why I don't believe the polls are accurate because it can't possibly be. I really don't believe it.
no,
I
but
really
they're
don't.
letting in 12 million future voters.
But they're not polling them.
They're not polling them, but
Right,
they're,
meaning it would be even
but
worse than the polls.
I
that he's
wonder.
talking
I wonder what percentage is going to end up voting because it's not
fear-
hard. It's not
I
hard to
fear
vote.
Not
We think
when
it's like
Tim
super
Walz
hard.
gives you a
But like
driver's
half the
license to go home.
states don't even require you to show ID.
I know.
To get into a bar, you got to show ID to buy a drink, but to vote somehow,
Because
it's
you're-
racist.
Somehow it's racist.
It's racist.
to
because
make
black
you show
people
your
can't
ID.
find ideas.
I
apparently.
know, which is totally racist on their
It's
part.
the craziest thing I've ever heard
Like
in my
in other
life.
words, they're saying black people are not normal.
They are lesser than
They're
white
not
people.
like humans,
They are
and
unable to
they
find-
somehow
yeah.
cannot provide an ID
It is
when
the
asked for it.
craziest talking point I've ever heard in my life. It is the most
Craziest.
insulting thing I've ever heard.
It goes back to the one word: we're being gaslit.
Yeah, literally.
No, it's like it's like Dave Chappelle said. It was like famous. He's like, I see a lot of black people in the crowd today. He's like, I'm surprised that you're here. Most of y'all don't even have internet connection. How did you buy a ticket? Like, that was what he said. Like, again, he's black, so he can say that. But, like, if that was me, that's effectively...
He's great. He's actually really good. But
I mean, we could talk about it for a lot of people. Have
I
their
like
own,
him a lot.
I
But
like Dave also.
I just think in general, the fact that they get away with that when Donald Trump gets attacked the way that he does, that is obscene. Like certain things I've heard, I'm like, yeah, I get it. You're gonna freak out about this. Certain things, I'm like, they're still talking about this. He said it 8 days ago. It doesn't even mean what they think.
Yeah.
And then they can say black people or Latinos are incapable of getting an ID, and we're supposed to just let that go.
It's crazy. Let me ask you, you know, honestly, you've said a lot of things that really opened my mind here.
I'll take
What
it.
do you think, no, because I'm thinking about this question.
Yeah.
What do you think is the reason behind why the media what's their motivation to be so pro the left? Like, it's almost like the left is right now, like we've discussed, really, that's been the theme of this podcast, at least where I pushed it, that it doesn't make any sense, right? It just doesn't add up. It's like, why would you not want these basic common sense policies?
Right.
What is the left's motivation to push policy that's contrary to what common sense would be?
I like to give people the benefit of the doubt. And I think the majority of people believe truly in the media front, mainstream, not the majority of people in those industries truly believe that when they're trying to reform America, when they're trying to bring about policies that are the antithesis of what we believe America is, that they're helping. They truly think that they are more open-minded, more decent, more kind, and that that's the way to do it. Most of the people I've met that disagreed with me politically, I think are genuine good people. They believe they're on the right side of history.
Meaning what? Just to clarify, that they think
That letting in illegal immigrants is more important than the risk that any of those might pose to Americans, for example.
What about the basis of what America is and what was founded on? They want to change that, or they believe that their particular beliefs is what America was founded on to begin with?
They believe America was founded in a disgusting way. America is a fundamentally racist country. It needs to be
So it needs to be
rebranded
changed.
Yes.
Do they admit that they want to change it?
Yeah.
They do. That's open.
100%. I think Democrat politicians might say it a little bit less, but yeah, I've heard plenty of people on the left say America needs to be changed.
Wow, that's a really. I mean, but I feel like Tim Walz or Kamala, they would never say that, right?
Tim Walz would say that. I'm
Really?
sure he has said
Yeah,
plenty
of
of
course.
things.
By
I'm
the way,
sure Kamala at some point.
progressive.
I know. Why is Trump not attacking him for the tampons in the kids' bathrooms and all these crazy? No, these are crazy fucking
Crazy.
things. Why is
Wait,
he?
what? I didn't even hear about this.
didn't know
he,
that?
he signed into law that you have to have tampons in all boys' bathrooms from 4th grade and up. I'm trying to explain. Yes.
Why are you not
First of all,
getting
hold
it?
on. First of all, what do you mean they have to have?
have to.
Why are they handing that out?
Because to help for, let's say for women, they
See,
want.
you said you want to talk about science. Let's talk about the science.
No,
Why
for
they
women,
hand-
'cause
why are they
all
handing it
girls-
out?
We'll start with this.
Okay, stores sell it.
No,
Well,
you
no.
need something.
But not
go bu-
8-year-olds can't go to the store.
But
We
they can
wanna
go to
provide. I
They
don't
can
know
go
if
to
girl
that.
has a
First of
period.
all,
I don't know
8-year-olds
what
don't.
Don't what?
Don't menstruate? What are you trying to say?
Yes. Why do they
maybe.
need?
Maybe they identify as someone who
I
does.
don't. No.
Yeah, but then
That's the point.
what are they doing with that? Are they
Answer the
eating
question.
them like you're 8 years old?
No, it's in the kids' bathroom, whatever. In the bathroom for elementary school, starting whatever, fourth,
Whatever it is, but-
middle school and up. So I don't know.
No, why are they giving it out for free? That's straight up.
No,
That's the
because
first
No,
thing.
you should give it.
That I don't think is so crazy. Why is
Yeah.
that so crazy to you?
Because if you need something, go buy it.
Maybe they don't have
No,
money.
because,
it's like
well,
a very
I don't know.
basic.
Okay,
fun
fine.
A
one.
woman, it's like,
Yeah.
do I have to go buy paper towels or toilet paper?
But also in a kid's, you don't want a kid to get bullied because something happened
whatever it
in
is. I don't
7th
think it's
grade in the
crazy.
middle of the day. You know, you should have them there.
That to me is a nice thing. I don't have a problem with that. Trump, if you want to sign into law, tampons in every single bathroom in the U.S. for in all women's bathrooms, I'm in favor. I'll root for that. Why not? But
It's the weirdest thing.
no, but he put them. He
So-
signed that in boys' bathrooms.
In
also.
boys or just all genders, all bathrooms, all everything.
one is
I mean, we can Google it, but it's definitely in boys' bathrooms.
Well, what do you,
Yeah.
Whatever it
what's
is.
a boys' bathroom?
In a middle school, I would hope the boys and girls are separate. So the bathroom that says boys on
Yeah,
it.
but they will clearly have signs in these extremely liberal states that say
something. Let
anybody
me look quickly.
can use, meaning it will say this is the men's bathroom, but then there's a sign that says
Right.
anyone can use this.
I think it's just a men's bathroom. Like a little kid goes to the boys' bathroom at school to change for gym class.
No, but according to them, what's a boy's bathroom? Anybody,
You are asking the wrong person. But
what does it mean that it's a men's bathroom? Anybody can
That's a
identify
good
as
point.
anyone at any point.
It's a fair point. What is a boys' bathroom?
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, that
what's
is. No. It's actually funny.
Let's get
I pulled
Walz
up.
on the phone.
You know what's
Yeah.
hilarious is that I actually pulled up the first article on this, and it says Republican critics of Democratic vice presidential candidate Tim Walz have given him a new nickname, Tampon Tim. After Vice President Harris, no, it gets better.
Welcome to politics.
After Vice President Harris announced her pick, whatever, Stephen Miller, former advisor to former President Donald Trump, tweeted, she actually chose Tampon Tim, Chaya Rachik, who runs the far-right social media account, Libs of TikTok.
Far right.
Far right.
She was apparently the
Repost
one.
content.
Yeah.
Far right.
She was actually the one who photoshopped Walz's face onto a tampon box. It's right here. Look, I'll show you very quickly. This is the thing. Apparently, she was the one who did this. Whatever. Either way, but let's see. What's the actual? Okay, fine. But it's just funny that they picked Chaya as the thing. Okay, we were with her on Pesach. It makes. He wrote. What's his thing? Products are free. Okay, the moniker refers to law Walz, the governor of Minnesota, signed last year requiring public schools to provide menstrual products, including pads and tampons, to students in 4th through 12th grades. The products are free for students, with the state paying about $2 per pupil to keep them stocked throughout the school year. The law, which was the result of years of advocacy by students and their allies, took effect January 1st. The students say the rollout has so far been smoother in some districts than others, Baruch Hashem. Okay, I don't know why it doesn't.
The fact that we can't just find the policy in 2 sentences,
Yeah, I
that's
don't
the
know
problem
why.
too. The media wants to talk about
The
just
bill's
giving it to
inclusive
you.
language reflects that not all people who menstruate are women, and not all women get periods, which was important to those who lobbied for the legislation. It'll make it more comfortable for everyone. Yeah. Whatever. The point is that it seems that he, I don't know why I closed his laptop, but the point is that it seems that he has to, that this was his, whatever. That's pretty clear that in gender, whatever, in boys' bathrooms, it is there.
But we don't even know what genders are these days.
That's true.
That is,
We-
what is a woman?
yeah.
We're up to that. Okay. What are your thoughts on JD Vance?
I think
Like how he's been doing?
I think he's been doing well since she picked Walz. I think.
Okay.
I mean, also Walz is. I'm with you. I'm shocked by the pick. I think it's a really bad pick. But I think when he was just another person on the ticket, I'm like, yeah, he believes the same thing Donald Trump believes. Great. I think the comparison between him and Walz is a phenomenal one.
Yeah.
I think his story compared to his is phenomenal. I think his record compared to his is phenomenal. I think the way they speak. I think JD Vance looks like a different candidate now after Walz was picked.
What do you think beforehand? Before that, why were you not as called gung-ho about him beforehand?
It wasn't that I wasn't. I knew who was being considered, and it was just a few people that are very close to Donald Trump
Right.
policy-wise. There are other Republicans, and I knew he was going to pick someone he's comfortable with, who he liked. I figured it was going to be someone young, and I knew that JD Vance was probably the pick, or at least one of 3 options. That's all. Like, it just wasn't a surprise,
Right.
He's a close friend of the Jews, JD.
I think he's been,
Yeah.
by the way he talks about Israel and the Jews is phenomenal.
Yeah.
I like to separate the two, at least in my job, because I'm America
Yeah.
first always and everything else. And as a Jew, I look through things a little differently. But the way he's been, the way he talks about Israel and the Jews, the way he's been in his career, I looked into a lot of stuff, like very, very impressive, seems very genuine. Just very mature, very intelligent, very good. Everything on Israel that he has said has been very on point.
Yeah. I mean,
He spoke in front of a Hasidic crowd in Muncie
Oh, really? Recently?
with Tzedek.
Post him being nominated for VP?
No. Like
Prior.
a year or two
Right,
ago.
yeah.
Oh, it was
So
a
there's
while
a picture
ago
of him
already.
at the Kotel. Like you
Yeah.
can tell that he actually was doing this way before it mattered for his career, and that's special.
All right, everybody, want to give a quick shout out to our sponsor for this episode, Ice Shaker Incorporated. For those of you that have been following Mislabeled, you know that we had Chris Gronkowski on. This is his company. They were on Shark Tank, offered a deal by all 5 sharks. They have sold over 1 million bottles to date. Kitchen grade stainless steel, which does not absorb odor like all plastic bottles do. If you are a workout junkie, this product is for you. Third-party tested, will hold ice for 30 plus hours and keep your drink cold. Additionally, this is customizable for all employers for their employees and can make for a great gift for a friend. Turnaround time on custom bottles is 3 to 5 business days. To reach out to them, you can hit them via email, info@iceshaker.com. That's info at ICESHAKER.com. Or reach them by phone, 817-329-6478. Again, that's 817-329-6478. A customer rep will direct you to the correct sales department. Now back to our episode. What are your thoughts on what's going on in Venezuela right now? Meaning, no, specifically...
Yeah, because the Zionists are at fault, in case you missed that.
Obviously, of course.
That's why I'm laughing, because I did
Maduro
this.
calls out Zionists.
No, my question is specifically, what do you feel as far as public policy, and this kind of gets into a more isolationist versus not isolationist
Right, which is-
perspective. Do you feel we should be involved in Maduro's coup that he's doing, even though he lost the election, or should we just stay the fuck out of it and let him do his thing?
I would say right now, I think we have enough problems. True. I mean,
Right.
between Ukraine and Israel and terrorists in our own country, I think we have enough problems.
Yeah,
I really
I'm with you on
do.
that. So where do you put Israel in that? Do you feel I assume you feel that Israel is in a different category than Venezuela?
Yes.
Okay, so why is that? For the people, and there's
Their
a large
beaches are nicer
All your Tucker
and-
Carlson people would say Israel and Venezuela are the same.
And that's fine. I think in general, I've had this discussion with people. I don't like, it's weird, people don't get it. I don't like debating people. I will tell you my point. If you disagree, like, congratulations. Like, I'm not here to scream at people. We come from different, life experiences. That's fine. I get the America First isolationist. I get it. I know where it comes from, and I can't blame a lot of people because of what we've seen these last few years. I don't think you can give billions to Ukraine in a war that has no end in sight when there
Yeah.
are homeless veterans in our street and we're walking by them every single day. We're stepping over people. There are children starving. We have terrorists coming in. And this is happening, and we don't even have a president who can tell us we're doing this for this reason. This
Yeah.
money's going to go to A, B, C, and D.
It's true.
And we hope the war ends with it. I don't even know what the objective is.
Yeah, I don't
Ukraine
think
is
they
not
do.
going to defeat, Russia's not going to be wiped off the face of the earth. I don't know what the objective is. We don't have a president that can tell us, and he's sending our dollars over there. So I get it. At the same time, the Ukraine-Russia thing and Israel is very different. We don't want a war with Russia. We're not in a current ongoing war with Russia, and the more you help Ukraine, the more you put Americans at risk. Russia's a nuclear power. Hamas should not be compared to Russia,
Yeah.
number one. Number two, Hamas directly attacked our ally in the most gruesome, disgusting way we've ever seen. Americans died there as well. No one talks about it here. They're like, yeah, but the Jews, it's not our problem. No, Americans were slaughtered too. Americans are currently still being held by Hamas right now.
Yeah.
No one talks about it.
Yeah.
I'm not saying this is our war and we should have troops on the ground, but to compare it because it's not America, like it's just two nations that happen to not be here that we're funding. There's no compare. You can't
Yeah.
just compare it because it's easy.
And you could argue
doesn't
that,
work
by the
that
way,
way.
that Israel doesn't necessarily need the U.S.'s
There's
help.
so
Just
many arguments,
let us
for sure.
do what we
Yeah.
feel
Right.
like we have to
But
do.
it's
We're
Just
asking
let
for
us be.
Western
It's just
weapons.
too lazy to me to be like, we should help no one ever. America first, always. We're alone on this earth, and we'll see what happens. That is not a fun argument. You have to learn the history of the Soviet Union and learn the history of what's going on in Gaza, know who the enemies are, what
Yeah.
actually happened, what threat they pose to our country,
Yeah.
and then have a discussion. That's
a good point.
You can't just say we're not giving money, like no more to Ukraine, no more to Israel. We're alone here. We'll see what happens. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah, also, I mean, the difference I would also say is Russia is not a designated terrorist group.
No.
Hamas
not at all.
is.
And-
Hamas is, and
And
Hamas.
Hamas
even
is
if
a
they're fighting
proxy
an
of
illegal
Iran,
war.
which is an enemy of the United States of America. I don't
Right.
think Russia is currently. I mean, I'm not a fan of Russia. I don't think we're sitting here, hoping Russia doesn't blow us off the face of the map. Like we're not.
Right.
That's just not where we are right now. It could be if we keep funding Ukraine and hoping nothing bad happens to us. But it's a different situation, and that comes as Elizabeth Pipko, RNC, not Jew. I can
Right.
sit here and talk about Israel as a Jew forever. I can talk about the forming of Israel and the relationship we have as two countries, what we share. You could talk about Moses. The statue of Moses is on the Supreme Court building. Like Judeo-Christian values, like
Yeah.
we have
Yeah.
something. It's not the same thing we have with Ukraine. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. But I can go on for hours about that. The point is, it's just very lazy to me. Very easy and very lazy to say we are funding no one ever. No wars affect us in any way, and we're going to be fine like that. I don't think it works that way.
Yeah.
But I understand the frustration 100%.
Yeah, no, I mean, and I feel like there's very few pundits that are, I would say majority of pundits that are in the Trump camp are this total isolationist.
There are a
like,
lot.
and even Tucker's like saying Ben Shapiro wants my kids to die. Some total
Right.
bullshit. Ben's like, wow, like, what are you
Or
talking about? I
saying
never said to
they
put
didn't
kids-
appreciate how he responded after October 7th.
Who?
I think Tucker and Candace were saying that Ben Shapiro was a little too emotional after October 7th. I don't want to be quoted on that until I see
No.
it, but I'm 99% sure that was true.
Well, they were saying overall that yeah, correct. He's letting his Jewish identity get in the way in front of America.
If you want to watch that footage and not be emotional, A, something's wrong with you. B, Americans were slaughtered too.
yeah, no, I'm with
Yeah,
you.
there's
American
just-
citizens were killed.
there's just
American
so much-
citizens were
I-
captured.
But I think
Yeah.
Tucker also said specifically. Tucker's line was like, "You want my kids to go there and fight, and die?" And Ben,
I don't
Ben was
think
like,
Ben-
"What? Like, I don't never set to put boots on the
Yeah.
ground there ever at any point. Like, what
Ben
are you
and
talking
I are
about?"
not friends. We've never discussed this, so I can't quote him, but I don't think anyone here, me included, has ever said, let's send American troops over.
Yeah.
No one has said that.
And
no one
Ben
wants
has also
that.
said, I mean, this is
And
very
also,
complex.
Israel's got it. Like, let's not think that Israel needs our help so desperately. They're pretty invincible themselves, too. We should be an ally to a country for many reasons, like Israel. But they're not begging us to send troops either.
They're also
we
an
should
aircraft
calm
carrier
down.
right in the middle of the Middle East.
Right.
So,
like, we should cool it
why would- yeah.
with the
No, but-
accusations. Yeah.
Yeah, I actually think right now, Israel, I just get the sense, and I think a lot of people do. I'm curious what you think, Shalom and Elizabeth. I actually think Israel's on the cusp of like finishing Hamas. Like after the Hania assassination, I feel like there was a shift. Really, like I feel that. What's so funny?
No, because
I feel like there's been a shift
They
in
never
energy.
publicly said that we assassinated Hania.
Yeah, they never.
They're still not. They're still
I was
not
gonna say, I
acknowledging
don't know what
it.
you know that I don't know.
They're
but we
still
didn't
not
admit-
acknowledging
Thanks.
it.
All right.
But it's
We
a,
also
it's,
never killed
it's-
Eichmann, probably,
But
right?
it's
What
a
else do we
crazy
do?
intelligence
Which is
feat.
funny because anytime anyone else is killed, it's the Zionist fault. But this time
this
we
time-
didn't say anything.
They never publicly acknowledged it. But it's classic Mossad.
Yeah,
and it's
yeah.
honestly,
Most
I
badass
think,
thing of all
yeah,
time.
super badass.
It's under his bed also.
Well-
Like, get the fuck out of here. Like,
No,
they
we-
remove. They were
yeah.
like AI removed from Israel. Just fucking press the button. That's some badass shit. Like, really. But I feel like
in a safe house in Tehran. Like this is the heart of the beast.
safe house.
And
the real heart of the beast. That's not.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like after that, there is. I don't know. Like they killed Deef. They've killed. Of the top 5, they've killed everyone but Sinwar.
Yeah.
And it was taking them forever to get to them. And they killed Deef, Hania, like
Yeah.
all the tops within like a couple weeks.
Deef was wanted for 30 years.
Yeah, and they finally killed him. And I'm just saying, I feel like it has shifted dramatically where Hamas is really on their last leg. Like, that's the energy that I'm sensing. I actually read a fascinating thing. First of all, is that what you feel?
I don't feel that, but I hope so.
You don't.
I don't. I fear in general for Israel. If you look at what's going on, and it's not just Hamas. I
I'm
mean,
saying one thing at a time.
maybe
Hamas.
I'm just gonna pray and stay quiet till we take care of it.
All right.
I get very
What do you
very
feel?
nervous about all of this.
Well, the latest reports are that actually Hamas, Sinwar is pushing for a ceasefire.
Of course he
I've
is,
seen
because
that.
he has no choice.
Because
No, but I think
his-
people expected it to be
his
stronger,
people-
and then they were like, "No, we're fighting on," and people were confused. But now I've heard the same that he's.
his,
just came out
his
last
people
night.
are like, we're
Yeah.
getting destroyed,
Yeah,
like we
that's what
can't
I'm
do this
saying.
anymore.
And they made him political, by the way. It's
Yeah,
great.
they
They
made
made him the
yeah.
political. And Americans and Kamala still going to push for a ceasefire. That's where you know. I mean, it's fucking. It's
Israel should never agree to a ceasefire.
never, not even
Never.
for a
But it's
freaking
not even
second.
the push; it's that when she talks about it, she talks about Israel being at fault. That's the
It's an
problem.
equivocation. A real.
It's
even,
just the strangest thing in the world to say Palestinians are dying, which they are, and it's horrible, and blame Israel, not Hamas. Their
Yeah.
own leaders that are a terrorist group that did this to them. That's
we're
what I don't
responsible for them.
That's what I don't
Yeah.
understand. We're responsible for everyone, including Venezuela, as you know.
Yeah.
But that's the part I don't like. I completely, I get it. Like no one wants an innocent civilian to die, and we should mourn with them, and it's horrible. But we didn't do this.
You know, I write to every single thing on Twitter. I literally write back.
yeah.
Like, they ceasefire, right? Yes. Have Hamas surrender and give back
Right.
hostages, ceasefire.
She says it as
Same
if
stupid thing.
America is supporting those that are doing this. It's like America supporting those that want to end the war and bring their hostages home. It's a terrorist group that America is not supporting that started this, both
Yeah.
to the Jewish people, to the American people that were there, every other nationality that was there, and to their own people who they don't care that are suffering. And she doesn't say it.
The real question is what's going to happen with Iran. Are they going to wait? Are they going to be attacking? Liz, what are you hearing inside the Trump campaign? Tell me.
We have no connection to Iran in the Trump campaign. Thank
Really?
God.
You had with Russia. There was a whole Russian collusion hoax. Not
I
hoax.
am the Russian collusion.
Oh, right, because your family's in the Soviet Union.
Actually, my brother and I used to joke. There were reports later on, all turned out to be false anyway, but they were like, people heard Russian speaking in the Trump campaign. And it's like, yeah, it was my brother and I gossiping all day because we don't want people to listen to us. I don't know
It's like
anything.
Israelis are like, I'm trying to hear like like Yiddish, like or whatever, like two Jews like speaking, Hebrew.
It wouldn't be so far if you hear Yiddish in the Trump campaign.
I heard a lot of Yiddish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I heard a really funny thing yesterday that was posted just random, but I saw a clip that there was like this. It was actually funny. This guy was black and he's busy talking to like it was on a podcast and he's like, bro, if you make more than $500,000 a year, there needs to be a different language for people making more than $500,000 a year. And this other black guy goes, yeah, it's called Hebrew, dude. I was cracking up.
Really good.
Oh, it was good. Yeah, well, people say that they're waiting. You think Iran? What the hell's going on with that? Are they just doing nothing?
It looks like they're doing that. I don't
People
know.
are saying Tisha B'Av. What do you think?
I really hope not.
Yeah, there's no way of really knowing, but they're going to have to do something, though. I feel like
They can't do nothing.
They can't do nothing. Something is going to happen.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah,
few other questions.
that's really why you need someone like Trump in office. Because you need somebody in Trump to let Israel be and to call out on Iran and to stand, to know.
Just someone to stand up to our
'Cause
enemies. It's not that complicated. Like
Iran attacking Israel is like attacking the cub, the little cub. If you're afraid that
and
Mama
because
Bear is
they
going to
did
come
it
after
because
you,
they knew Mama
then
Bear
you're not
wouldn't
gonna-
come after them. Because Donald
Exactly.
Trump had Israel's back. They
And the
never
same
would have
thi-
done
and the
this.
same thing with Russia and Ukraine.
Exactly.
Same idea.
And
Yeah.
it leads to like the next step is it coming here. I'm not saying Donald Trump's the nicest person of all time. I'm saying he's going to keep you safe. It's that
Yeah.
basic. He's going to stand up to those that want you dead.
You know,
That's it.
also the crazy thing is the U.S. It's so crazy how dumb people are dumb people, and I will just say that straight up. Like, the U.S. has kept the war in Gaza going on because, effectively, since they've given Hamas legitimacy as being a party at the table, Hamas can now fight for a ceasefire. If everyone was against Hamas and it's like, bro, the party's over, like you're done,
Yeah.
like we are fully behind this 100%. We're not even negotiating a ceasefire. Like there's no ceasefire. It's you walk away or the game is over and we will obliterate you. They would give up.
I don't believe Donald Trump would have done anything different. I cannot
for sure.
see him seeing Americans held by a terrorist group for 10 months and doing nothing. I cannot
No,
see that.
it's just very simple.
He'll
Like,
just threaten that we'll blow
we
you
will
out of
kill
the
every
water.
single one of
Like,
you guys.
And that's
you
what
have
you
to
should
give
do
back our people.
anytime an
Yeah.
enemy attacks your own, and that's not what we're seeing.
So it's like 1 + 1, and then the population would go again. I mean, it's very, very standard. But when you give someone a seat at the table and give them legitimacy, they'll hang in there and they'll
Give
keep
them
on.
legitimacy
Yeah,
while
let's
they're
negotiate.
holding and torturing your own citizens.
we used to have a policy of we do not negotiate with terrorists.
I know.
Now we do.
Now,
We kind of negotiate.
now
a
we
lot
don't
with
have
terrorists.
policies. We just have polls.
Let me ask you this: Joe Rogan just endorsed RFK Jr., which is the second time in a row he's endorsed some third-party candidate that never had a chance of winning. What's your thoughts on that?
I don't care.
You don't care.
No, I mean,
Do you have any take on that?
he should endorse whoever he wants.
Okay, Shula, what do you think?
I actually think RFK is a good guy.
I've heard he's a very nice guy.
He seems like a very, very nice guy. He's an interesting guy.
But
Genuine
also
guy.
endorsing someone you know is not going to win is an interesting tactic. It's just being like,
Okay.
I can't.
So thank you. That's what I asked you.
I think it's weird.
It says I have a podcast and
Right.
I don't want to endorse right or left because I
Yes.
don't want to
But
lose
then
any of
don't
that.
say anything. Say
and
RFK
we
is my
basically
friend.
all agree that RFK is a nice guy and he's a genuine guy. So like,
But you think he should be president? I don't think he really thinks he should be president.
Okay,
I
but it's
think
not
he
even the
knows he's
point. To
gonna
me,
be
it's
president.
like, bro, and I'm a Joe Rogan guy. I like Joe.
I like him.
You know,
I've
aside from the
always
fact that he
liked
has
him.
no knowledge of what's actually going on
He
in
said
Israel.
some unfortunate things about.
Yeah, but okay, fine.
But I
what-
actually like him a lot.
No, I like Joe. I think I think he's a pretty wise person. But, like, dude, RFK is not in the race. All right, now who are you picking? Trump or Kamala? Like, pretend RFK is not here. Like, stop giving me I endorse Laibel Wiener for president if he was running. No, he's not running. Okay, RFK is not here.
You
Now,
wouldn't be happy if he endorsed Steve for president. That's what you're telling me.
I mean, maybe I personally would, but I can see everyone else saying he's not in the race. Like, who cares about him? Like, give me an actual something that matters. Who are you choosing between?
But it's just the fact that we've gotten to a point where podcasters have to endorse because nothing else matters except politics in this election. If you love Donald Trump or hate Donald Trump, it's just pathetic too. I'm tired. Everywhere I go, it's all people want to talk about because he's either the best person to ever exist or he's Hitler.
Yeah.
And now he's a podcast host and he has to make us choose a side. I just think it's ridiculous.
yeah, but I also the people that actually think he's bad, like really bad, like Hitler level, very small percentage of the population.
Really? Because I've met most
very-
of
It's the same
them.
Kamala. It's
You
the same
very
group, I feel
small.
like.
You go out
the
there,
people voting,
and
the
people are
50%
very
for Kamala.
happy. I was this week. I was in Uber rides in Michigan, which is actually a swing state. Uber rides, airports, whoever I met, all of a sudden they got into conversation, and they're all like, "This country, if Trump doesn't win, we're totally."
But what about
out."
those that dislike him? Do they dislike him because Kamala's policies are better? Or do they think he's Hitler?
Yeah, they
That's
think
the
he's
problem.
a little bit wild. He says things maybe that he shouldn't, but
I don't think he's Hitler. Get the.
there are
Some, but
there are those that think
But
that
not
he's
50%,
bad.
and that's my point.
Not even close.
Yeah, that's why I don't believe it. It's
not even 50% of the of the
yeah, I got
of the
it.
people that are going to
But
vote
yet-
for Kamala.
But yet she's beating him in polls.
That's what I'm saying. But that's why your numbers, that's why I agree with you. You have to either think that he's the worst thing to ever happen, or you'd vote in your own best interest and say, I was better under Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you have to think he's that bad, or why are you voting against your own happiness and success and safety? It doesn't make
Yeah.
any sense.
No, I'm with you. Do you plan to stay in politics post-Trump?
We'll see. Depends. I
This
mean,
is probably it. I mean, Trump either wins or
if
most
he
likely
wins,
he goes home.
If he wins,
I doubt he's running again in 4 years if he loses.
no. When he wins,
He
sorry.
might, by the way. Don't
But
say no so
if he does win, he'll be Obama. Like
Oh, he's going to do everything in 4
meaning
years.
meaning
gonna be
after
there.
he's gone, he'll still have that huge influence. He's not going to be Bush. Like Bush is disappeared.
Oh, he'll
Bush
be in
lives
no matter
now as
what.
a-
I think
be-
Bush
he'll
disappeared
be-
because people really didn't like him anymore.
I actually, but as a kid, I loved Bush.
I loved him as a kid too.
Yeah,
Growing
'cause
up,
Now,
I
not
remember
so
the 2000 recount. I remember that clearly. I was
Oh,
10 years
yeah.
old.
I also
remember
do.
that clearly.
You remember that?
I was a little. It's one of my
don't
earliest
remember
memories. I remember I was in my
90s
old
baby.
house.
Mine
I was
is
10 years old.
9/11 is my earliest memory.
And 9/11, he
Yeah,
was
it's like
he
my
was
earliest
very
memory.
likable at 9/11.
Yeah.
He was that guy showing up in a
Leader.
bomber
Yeah,
jacket,
he was a
telling
leader.
us we will
Yeah.
get them, and we like And he was very likable, very relatable, and he was a nice guy.
He fucked up in Iraq. That was his fuck up. Done.
Small things.
No, but I mean, like that just didn't make any sense. It did it
No, I
then.
agree.
It doesn't now.
Was it really him? Was it the CIA? Whatever.
I'm saying if he's stuck with
Zionists.
Afghanistan,
It was the Zionists.
Zionist, obviously, of course.
Jews.
If he would have stuck with Afghanistan alone, just direct
Yeah.
to, I don't think anyone would have had a
Yeah.
problem. I don't know what. Yeah.
The point is, I agree with you. He's going to be very different, and I think he's not going to just let go. I mean, people
Yeah, he's
love
going to give a
Donald
stamp
Trump.
of approval.
Right, and
to
whoever
the
he
next
picks
people.
next, I think people would be
Yeah.
very interested. But that's, 4
Yeah.
years away. We're not going to think
I
about
could
it.
see
But
him running at 82, by the way. I mean, I
the
would not
poor
be
man
surprised.
just needs
He
to-
doesn't go down. So like,
it's just unbelievable.
I feel bad for him. I feel like he needs a vacation. He needs a rest.
He really does need a vacation.
Sometimes
But
I feel like
I don't think he enjoys vacation. Like he
he wants to work. He wants to
it's
be
not
active.
even work. Like
fine,
he
but
thrives.
golfing,
Yeah.
smoking cigars,
I don't think-
drinking Diet Coke. What is it, Coke or Diet Coke these days?
I don't think I've ever seen him smoke a cigar.
He doesn't
Oh, no,
smoke.
he doesn't
doesn't
smoke.
smoke.
drink.
He's not
Oh,
a
come
cigar
on,
guy.
basics.
Sorry,
Yeah, the Coke is good.
scratch
Never-
that.
He
never-
claims he's never had a drink, and I actually believe him. Never.
Well, he
Yeah,
has
because
no
he's
reason
very-
to lie. So
I
he
know,
would tell-
but that's crazy. Never ever to have had a drink. A guy like him that's in every night and probably in a social event for the last.
His brother passed away.
I know that's the famous thing, but you would have thought he had a drink when he was a kid.
It's honestly the biggest question. Like you want to think like I like him, and you want to think like if you met him, like you'd be able to like totally chill with him and vibe with
probably
him.
could.
You
But then
can.
it's like, wait a second, but you don't drink. So
doesn't
like
drink.
you're a vibe killer.
That's
like,
such a Jewish
like,
kid,
you're, like,
by the way,
then-
response.
Yeah.
The person that doesn't drink at the party, like
That was
weirdo.
me my whole life. I didn't drink in the
No, but
party,
that's such a
and everyone thought
yeshiva
it was
guy
cool.
Jewish response. Is like, bro, how can we chill if we don't have a bottle? Like,
No, but he's
what
the
are we doing?
like he's very, very chill.
Yeah,
like you
I'm
don't
sure.
know, you don't notice that he's not drinking because he just has like the
He's vibes.
personality. Yeah, he's got the vibes.
Yeah.
He's
So what do you
powerful.
think? Post Donald Trump. Because you're in this for Trump.
Solely for Donald Trump. If he wins and I'm offered something really good in the White House, I would think about it.
Okay.
Otherwise, I'm not just going to stay in Republican politics or something like that. That's
then-
not going to happen. But I could still run for president one day.
Okay, maybe one day.
Yeah.
We'll go there. I like it.
As long as we don't run against each other.
As long as you're the first woman president before Kamala Harris, I'm in business. I'll tell you that much. By the way, I actually believe that every person in this room, for sure, is more qualified to run the country than Kamala Harris. Like, I'm not kidding, by the way. I actually think she's that stupid. Like, I'm not just.
I had this fight with someone last night. I don't think she's stupid. I just think she's
Oh, no,
wrong
she-
on everything.
No, she's stupid. No, I don't think she's.
I remember back in
Actually,
the day.
She failed her, but I don't think she's that smart.
I remember back in the day, my dad, I never knew who my parents voted for, ever. My dad actually worked in Bill Clinton's administration, so I thought my parents were Democrats my whole life.
Mm-hmm.
But they had people over, and I never knew what was going on. I was just listening. I really couldn't tell who was what. And I remember someone yelling at my dad, like, "Oh, Obama's such an idiot."
Oh, he's
and
not. Obama's not an
And my dad
idiot,
was
no.
like, "We don't call people that are more accomplished than we are idiots. He's the president of the United States.
Fair.
You might think that he is wrong on everything. He's not an idiot. I'm sorry."
Fair enough. So I'll
and
answer the question.
Obama
Hold on.
is not an
He's
idiot.
not, but I remember
Hold
the
on.
same thing
And I said
happened.
on Dave Rubin's show
Yeah.
when I had Dave on, I said to him, anyone that's successful, I always say, they're obviously smart.
Mm-hmm.
They're not just an idiot. And that's always where I start. And in that case, I said, there's only one person that I, for the life of me, can't figure out and don't apply this to, and that was Cenk Uygur. Like, this guy to me is stupid. Like, I don't, and he's also an attorney. I'm like, there's something not adding up. If you listen, you're like, this guy's stupid. So I'm like, what's the deal? Because he used to work for Young Turks,
I
Dave
know.
Rubin. So that's why I was like, what's this guy's deal?
Right.
And he didn't want to talk about it on the air or whatever directly. It's not the point. The point is that with her, I'm being serious. You can't be as smart as her. Forget about landing up with the policies that she has towards Israel or whatever. I'm not even going to get into that. Maybe she can have all sorts of reasons. But your entire talking point cannot be being unburdened by what was unburdened.
But you know she's this close to being the most powerful person in the world.
So I understand, but she also landed up in certain positions and was polling at under 3%. She also, I'm saying this.
And yet, here we are. And here we are.
No, but people. So again, I still have to be able to make sense in my brain. I mean, there is such a thing as a stroke of luck. There's not. I understand, and I would be in your position also, by the way. But I'm being dead honest. Like,
Yeah.
to me, you cannot be someone who is like that smart and not have said a profound sentence on air ever. And I don't think I've listened to one thing that she said that's ever profound that also doesn't sound stupid. No, I'm being totally truthful. You have to have something that I'm listening to that's a little bit profound that shows some level of like emotional, like level of intellect and emotional depth. That I'm like, okay, that's a good point. That's smart. Like you said, 30 of those things sitting at this table in the last hour and a half. If you listen to her, I'm not kidding, and God's said this as well. It's like, so there's not one smart sentence that she
Think
said
about
were,
how much smarter she must be to get to where she is without ever saying a sentence that impressed you.
okay, thanks. we could try to spend. And by the way, I'm not afraid to call people with different policies smart. I think Josh Shapiro's very smart.
no,
I even think Tim Walz is smart. I think those people, I could see how they're smart. I'm not like, I just don't. For sure, street smart. I don't know. Maybe
I
street.
get it. No, I've heard
Something.
it all.
I
I
don't
get
know.
it. I also don't like people say with her dating history, this, that. I don't like any of those arguments or those conversations. I do think if she's where she is, she's got something going. We can't underestimate anything to do with Kamala Harris with that ticket because America's on the line. And I think
No,
in general, you
yeah.
should learn a little bit from everyone. And
I'm just saying Tim Walz has more radical policies than she does, and I agree
100%.
Tim Walz is smart. So I'm not saying
I
that
don't
I
think
think,
smart. I think he's a better politician.
but that's smarts. He's more adept at understanding how to be on his toes, knowing what to say. There's a
Maybe.
So basically,
what I
what you're saying is the only stupider person that you know than Kamala Harris is Doug
someone in
Emhoff.
Hask maybe.
Is
over
Doug
here.
Emhoff. You think Doug Emhoff is stupider than her? Well, he married her. So.
I mean, who knows why someone gets married? But maybe Cenk Uygur. Maybe they would be a good shit. Cenk and Kamala. They want the same things, by the way. So. No, it's just interesting. Like, I don't know, there's a whole clip, by the way. I don't know if you ever saw Patrick Bet-David. Cenk is on Patrick Bet-David. And it's actually funny because he goes into this whole thing talking, it's like a 10-minute clip of where he's telling Patrick how Donald Trump is the stupidest person in the world and has zero accomplishments.
I've seen this.
He's only accomplished. And I'm like, dude, you could say Donald Trump is stupid. Let me tell you a little thing. Here's what we'll do. We'll go on to Fifth Avenue, and here's what I'll tell you. We'll be in 5th and 57th, and you look up, okay? No one who builds an 80-story building is stupid. Do you understand how much difficulty goes
Just drive around New York.
Huh?
Just drive around New York City.
You can't be stupid when you have a tower that goes 1,000 feet in the air. Like you can't be. There's no the amount of intellect it takes to put together the drawings and the renderings and architect. There's no way. So that.
Yeah. He was also president of the United States.
No, but he gave him that. He's like the only thing he succeeded in was being president.
It's a little thing that he did. Became the most powerful man in the world.
Yeah. No, I agree. Whatever. Sorry for rambling, but I don't know how to explain it. I'm incensed
You're
more
a
than
lot
I've been.
angrier than I am.
What?
You're a lot more intense. I know.
There's something about this Kamala business.
It's amazing
that I am
how
like.
angry. I know.
No, seriously, I'm actually scared. But you know how Trump always says how this is the most important
Of
election in
course.
our lifetime, and you always hear that. Till now, I'm not kidding. Even before Kamala was in with Biden, relax yourself. Like whatever. Okay, Trump is being.
No, I agree. It's
It's I
bad.
actually believe that. I really believe this is the most important election. I really, really do. Like I think the country, the
In
fate
our
of the country,
lifetime, probably.
but I also think the fate of the country is very much governed right now by what happens. She's going to push heavy social. She's not even lying about it. She's like. On the left, they're saying Trump is going to push all these things, which those words never come out of his mouth that he's going to do any of those things. They just make them up, right? Like he's going to ban abortion. Like, he never said.
It comes back to one thing: is that they're gaslighting you. Trump will be a dictator, but they're dictating their liberal policies. Meaning they're going to be a dictator in the liberal policies.
But she's also pushing an agenda, which she says very clearly she's going to do, which
Yeah.
is a socialist-based agenda for the most part. Or
Of course.
So I just think it's a very, very dangerous time. I really do. And fuck Obama, who's behind the scenes doing all this shit as well. Sorry.
/ making movies in Hollywood.
Yeah, guy. That dude. First of all, where's Ivanka right now? Like, is she showing up if Trump wins? Okay, I'll talk to you
Stay
afterwards.
tuned.
I told you I met Ivanka by the aisle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
It was right after I think the debate in Nashville, right before the 2016 election.
oh yeah, she went
Yeah.
to pray.
Yeah, she had landed there, and I was randomly there, and
Was this when she had the kid? When she had her third, or she had her
She
third?
had her third right before that.
She
probably.
did,
She was
right.
pregnant on the campaign trail, so probably same.
Yeah.
I don't know. She looked skinny then.
By the way, that's
She
Jew-
always.
tall, yeah.
that's
she's
Jewish
always-
genes versus non-Jewish genes. She was like on the campaign 4 days after she had a kid.
And 2 days before she had a kid. Like she was.
Right.
She was traveling, I think,
She-
with a doctor because she was going to pop any moment.
She missed 6 days, like total, after having a child. Like
well, that family in general is insane when it comes to that.
They have work ethic.
Yeah.
They have
Work
energy.
ethic, really good genes.
And now you have what's her name? Kai. Kai's probably going to be a professional golfer.
Apparently, I don't know anything
Yeah.
about golf. Apparently, she's amazing.
She's great.
I don't know how this stuff works, but apparently, she's so good.
for me, the 2 winners of the RNC, the whole convention, was Kai's speech and Shabbos Kestamam.
The great part,
I
by
can
the
agree, I
way,
can agree with
Yeah.
that.
how did you like Kestamam's speech?
Good, it was really good.
Yeah, I thought he did very well, actually.
Yeah.
I did.
I thought it was great.
I thought he did very well.
Yeah.
Yeah. The great part about Kai was that Don Jr. Afterwards, like, wrote on his Twitter, he's like, I guess he wrote teenagers or whatever. Basically, like, stay the fuck away from my daughter. Like,
That makes sense.
But also, Don Jr., in fairness, why are you putting your door? Like, if you're that worried about, like,
Yeah.
what do you expect? Like, you're sticking her in front of 100 million people.
But you have to admit, even sticking your daughter out there and letting her do that 5 days after an assassination attempt on your father, like, they're just the most badass.
I meant to ask you,
Yeah.
what was the response to the assassination attempt, like, within the campaign circles? Like, what was the immediate?
It was craziness. It was intense. My father-in-law was sitting right behind him.
You told me that.
That
That's
was
insane.
a
Even
lot.
at the
Wow.
rally.
Yeah. No, I mean, it was I don't know what another word is. It was just insane thinking about it now. We're how many weeks later and no one has any answers to anything.
Do you believe no, hold on. There's enough information that has come out at this point that kind of make it like October 7th-esque, which is like, how did this happen? Like, they knew this shooter was on the roof for like a good 2 minutes
They
before the
saw
shots
him.
rang.
They saw him.
So I'm not saying that, therefore, it's a... Like I'm not a conspiracy
no, I'm not.
theorist.
I'm
not saying that. I'm just saying there's some real.
It's an atrocious screw up, both because you could have lost the former president and because someone did die.
Yeah.
Someone actually lost their life because Secret Service somehow failed. Like, someone went to a political event, thought they'd come home that night and didn't because of a mistake that should never have happened in this country. And that's insane. And by the way, that moment could have united everyone on both sides. Of course it didn't. But it's another moment, much like I thought COVID could have done that. Of course I was wrong.
If it was the other way around, it would have united everyone.
I would hope we would. Yeah, it's just someone died. I mean, this was an innocent guy
Yeah.
who went to support a politician he liked and he didn't come home. He got shot at this rally protecting, I think, his daughter and his wife
Yeah, so crazy.
and didn't come home in America. That should happen in third world countries. And like no one's even still thinking
an
about it.
assassination attempt
On the president,
is
former president of the United States.
It hasn't happened in who knows how long. And I mean, how close it was.
And to happen in this way, like it wasn't like.
But I'm
It was
just
done by
saying,
an
I'm not a
amateur,
conspiracy
a
theorist,
complete
but
amateur.
I mean,
No, I'm not either. I'm just
I
saying
am
it was a
not
horrible
surprised,
failure. That's all.
But I would just say one thing: the people that do think there's a conspiracy behind it, it's very hard to like go directly against them. Like, there's footage, literally, of 2 minutes straight of them knowing. Like, fine. It's not like
Yeah.
like if you match up his speech with people taking videos and the cops there looking around, it's a good like 100 seconds straight of them knowing he's on the roof. People saying there's a gun.
Yeah.
Trump is sitting there speaking. You hear him from the phone background and from the actual main video
Yeah.
background. It's like, bro, 140 seconds should be more than enough time to be radioing into Secret Service.
when he has a gun. I've been around the president.
Bro, hit this guy. Like,
I've been around
bring
the,
Trump
yeah,
down. Just,
I'm not allowed near him. Like, I know how this works with Secret Service.
dude, that's...
I've met some of those Secret Service agents, though, and they're some of the nicest, most hardworking people in the world. So I'm as baffled as him.
Bro,
and
who's that chick that's there
everyone
that
else.
can't holster her own weapon? Get her the fuck out of there, okay? Honestly, real talk. Like, who has time for this
She's
bullshit?
still there. She's still next to
I
JD.
saw her just yesterday's video.
Yeah,
What the
that's
fuck is
hilarious.
this? It's an embarrassment to the Secret Service.
By the way,
What
that
the
was
fuck is going on?
super badass of JD. JD just
Oh,
walks up
walked
to Air
over.
Force Two.
That
It's
was
great.
cool.
It's like,
No, but-
I'll talk to reporters because she's not.
No, I'm being serious. What the hell is this woman doing here? Like, what are we doing? Like, I'm sorry. This has nothing to do. If you want to sit here and think this is a sexist thing, no fucking problem. That, that's on you. Just get people that are badasses to be Secret Service.
because someone died. Like, it's not just because we're like, this is
Why,
wrong.
that whole
Someone
Secret Service
died.
detail for sure. I don't know. Like, honestly, should be dismissed. Like,
Yeah.
the entire thing, the whole like. If you were there that day as Secret Service guy or girl, like, you're gone. Like, I don't know. Everyone holds culpability for that moment.
100%.
That's your fucking job.
And we
Like,
owe it to the person who lost their life to investigate fully and be obscenely transparent because everyone has questions and that's not okay either.
So crazy.
It's just a strange time, and the fact that the Kamala switch happened after that, so no one's even talking
Yeah,
about the
that was
assassination attempt.
they're
It's like,
so good. They're
how are we
so
not talking
good.
about? He nearly
Those
died on camera, and no one's even talking
motherfuckers,
about
they're
it.
Because if
so
we talk
good.
about it, then people will have
course.
sympathy.
It's
People
just-
will vote for him.
It's also just crazy,
So
even if
therefore
you're
the
not
mainstream media
political.
is gonna
Like, we're
bury it.
living through like a historical event after historical event after. Like,
Oh,
we're just,
every day is
we
just like
want to
huge
sleep.
breaking news.
Yeah.
This is actually
Yeah.
no. The Trump TV show is.
Oh, it's gonna be good.
This is better than Celebrity Apprentice. I'll tell you that much. Way fucking better. This
Yeah.
is like we're year 9, by the way. This is which is crazy. I remember when it started, and I didn't give a damn about politics.
Yeah.
And I don't
Same.
know how old was I. I was now
I
I'm
was-
30. I was 21.
You were 20. I was 21 when he won, so 20 when he announced. Actually, I was 19. He announced early June.
Whatever it was, I was probably like 20, 21.
You're
and
a year
I-
older than me.
And
Yeah,
I didn't know
same.
anything about politics, but I was like, bro, this dude gets up there, he gives a 49-minute speech or 47 minutes about how the Mexicans are rapists, and I'm just sitting there, I'm like smoking a joint. I still remember I was like 20, I'm like smoking a joint on my couch with Warren. I'm like, this is fucking awesome, bro.
It wasn't the Mexicans being rapists. He said they're sending
I
their
know,
worst.
but I'm just saying, like, the
He was-
media went into a firestorm immediately.
It was the funniest,
that was
craziest
amazing.
year
That was
ever.
amazing.
Yeah, and then him winning was even
Oh, that was.
crazier. And
By the way, I told
Here we
someone.
are.
I said that night was so the debates, especially the second one. With the "That's why you're in jail" to Hillary.
Yeah.
That was like we had a crazy debate party. That debate, and it was wild. There were like I probably had 40 people at my apartment with Warren, and the place like it was also the first one we did. It was like we were expecting Trump to come out Trump, but he tried curbing it because his advisors didn't let him be him. Like that was obvious. I mean, no one's told me that, but if you watched it, he was trying to be like presidential.
politics, yeah.
And then the second one, it was after I grabbed her by the, and then he came out and he's just like, I'm gonna do this my way or not. And he just that was where he delivered. And I remember on the election night saying each state, I had a gut he would win. And each state, I told someone, it was like I felt like I won the Super Bowl. On every single state, the elation was like the Jets winning the Super Bowl each time. It was like Florida, it was like, also when it was like 94%. And it was like 49, 47%. He's up. You're still not fully done. So you're like, and each state one by one. I'll never forget that. That was, what a night. And the second time around, 2020, I remember 3 a.m. getting ready to celebrate and then them calling it off.
Yeah.
I remember that also.
Imagine being in the White House that night. That was.
You were there, right?
It was a
I saw those
rough
pictures.
Night. Yeah.
2020. You were there 2016 also.
We weren't in the White House. We were in Trump Tower.
I mean, you were in Trump Tower. You were with him, right?
That night was magic. 2020 was. I also fell down the stairs in the White House that night. That was a rough night for all of us. But
Chaos.
yeah, see what happens.
Anyways, Liz, thank you so much. By the way, as a friend, I'm so impressed and I'm inspired by your journey. I mean that, and becoming RNC spokeswoman. That's what an accomplishment. I'm not kidding. I don't. Are you even 30 yet? No, you're not. You're not.
We're not even
close
going to
to
pretend
30.
that I'm not close to 30.
Are you 28?
I'm exactly a year younger than you.
You're
We have
29?
had this
I forgot.
conversation.
No, I know, but I remember you said whatever. I'm pretty sure you told me you're 28. Either way.
I was 28 when you asked. Yes.
Okay, well there you go. So I forgot the exact.
Turned
But the
29
point
right
is,
after
the point is, no. But real talk, like to accomplish what you've done by 29, and it's unreal. It's really unreal. It's inspiring to anyone who's ambitious. It should be inspiring. And I
And
really,
it probably is inspiring to a lot of young Jews out
Thank
there.
you. I hope so.
Yeah.
On both sides. 'Cause it's not
yeah.
political. It's just you can do anything you want to do.
honestly, not to just gas you up, but our accomplishments are not just in the political sector. I mean, like you have.
Sexiest spokeswoman.
Yeah, 100, whatever. Like, I mean, it's really, hard work works. Denzel Washington says.
Prayer
I love that
also
one.
works.
Prayer
a
also
lot.
works, and God works. But
He does.
really, I want to say thank you for coming on again, especially in this time. It's very, very busy. I know that, and I appreciate you taking time to come here to Long Island, even though you're based out of the city, because we made it work. And I really want to Shulam. Thank you for coming on. Also, I know you flew back. By the way, he came back last
Thank
night
you.
at I don't know what time. 1
That's
a.m.
nicer than anything my husband's ever done for me. So that's very nice. Thank you.
So I dragged him here. And yeah, I really appreciate it. So thank you. Okay, guys, I hope you enjoyed watching. We are on to the next. We're going to have another great episode for you next week. Peace and love.